3, 2, 1. You're live. And we're live. Welcome to the Dreaded Conservative Show. Monday nights, kicking the week off right. My name is Josh. I am the Dreaded Conservative. We got a little bit of a show tonight. We're going to just try to riff with it. Just go with it. We got all the updates on the Trump and the Fanni Willis case. I've tried to avoid this case because all these cases are bogus nonsense. It's a mess. But we got to look into this Fanni Willis thing. I guess she's still going to be on the case. I spelled her name wrong in the thumbnail. There's only one N. Only one N in Fanni Willis. What else? We got the TikTok ban. We'll talk about the TikTok ban. Why I originally support it, and I still support it. Trump has flip-flopped. Maybe he knows something we don't know. Above our pay grade. I don't know. I support the TikTok ban. I think TikTok is making people stupid. We'll talk about that. And then we got barbecues in Haiti. I haven't covered the Haiti stuff. It's been going on for a couple weeks now. But it's reaching a fever pitch with General Barbecue eating people in Haiti. Dun, dun, dun. Then we got rapid fire news. We got memes. We got reels. We'll talk about Andrew Tate going to jail again. And why it's funny is because Aiden Ross snitched on him on a live stream and got him put in jail. And I wonder if the Tate youth are going to be going after Aiden Ross. Should make for some entertaining conversations. How you going to snitch out the top G, Aiden? I never liked Aiden Ross, so I think Aiden Ross is whack. But anyway, we'll talk about that stuff in rapid fire. Some podcasts, pop culture news. And then to wrap up the show, same as every year, the Christian hating, holiday denying cult of degenerates are out en masse as usual. We have a Christian holiday coming up, and you're going to hear a lot of dumb people tell you that it's pagan who haven't really looked into it at all. They just took what the world says and believed it. So we're going to have to debunk it again. Easter is not pagan. Never was. Never has been. Christian holiday. The resurrection of Jesus Christ coming up. So we'll talk about all that on the show. Right. No! Wrong noise. All right. Let's calm it down. Let's calm it down a notch. This intro music is fire. I don't know about that, but it's all right. The whole Easter bunny laying eggs is pagan, not the holiday itself. That's wrong. Bunnies don't lay eggs. Nobody ever said that the bunny lays the eggs. I don't know where you got that from. Your parents hide the eggs. Anyway. That's another lie that you've been told. The bunny is the closest thing to pagan. The bunny is the closest thing to pagan. Anyway, that's for later in the show. Let's get into this Fanni Willis stuff. I haven't really covered this too much. We covered all the cases at one point or another, but we haven't really looked into depth into what's going on. The Fulton County, this is from the Georgia case, which I believe is the J6 case, right? It's the insurrection case. Is that the Atlanta case? Anyway, this judge this DA Fanni Willis was getting recused from the case because of some shisty dealings with another person on the case. Nathan Wade was her lover, and he's also on the case. And they said, basically, first they said she was going to have to step down. But then they said, if he steps down, then we can go ahead. And sure enough, he stepped down. This is the black woman-led America of 2024. Of course, the white guy's going to step down. From Sean Hannity, Trump prosecutor Fanni Willis threw lover Nathan Wade under the bus. Willis faced accusations of hiding a romantic relationship with a special counsel she hired to handle the case against Trump. So she hired the special counsel because he was giving her some special counsel. That's what happened there. Fox News host Sean Hannity reacts to the ruling in the case. Well, let's look at the ruling first. This article, they're not going to let me read. So we got a couple articles. First I read this. Judge rules Fanni Willis must step aside from Trump case or fire special prosecutor Nathan Wade. So she had an option. She could step aside or she could fire Nathan Wade. She ended up firing Nathan Wade. Nathan Wade resigns after judge says Fanni Willis and her office can stay on Trump Georgia 2020 election. So Fox saying that he must step aside, and then he did. He resigned from the case. CBS is talking about him resigning. In Atlanta, Nathan Wade, a special prosecutor working with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, resigned his post after a judge ruled Friday that District Attorney Fanni Willis and her office may remain on the 2020 election case involving former President Donald Trump and his allies if Wade stepped aside. Wade's resignation as special prosecutor came hours after Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee laid out two options that would allow for the continued prosecution of the racketeering case against Trump and his co-defendants, stemming from an alleged scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election in Georgia. The district attorney may choose to step aside along with the whole of her office and refer the prosecution to the prosecuting attorney's counsel for reassignment, McAfee wrote in his 23-page decision. Alternatively, Special Assistant District Attorney Wade can withdraw, allowing the district attorney, the defendants, and the public to move forward without his presence or remuneration distracting from and potentially compromising the merits of this case. So they gave him the option. He ended up stepping aside. So he did step aside. Let's see what CNN's saying about him stepping aside. Judge rules Fanni Willis can stay on Trump's Georgia re-election case. Key Georgia ruling Fulton County District Attorney Fanni Willis can stay on and prosecute the Georgia 2020 election interference racketeering case against former President Donald Trump and 14 of his co-defendants after the special prosecutor with whom she had a romantic relationship stepped down. So her and this guy were getting it on. Scathing rebuke. Nathan Wade's resignation came hours after a scathing rebuke of the district attorney's actions in Judge Scott McAfee's 23-page opinion. And it remains unclear if Trump will face trial before November over his actions after the 2020 presidential election. Y'all better hurry up. We're running out of time to get our boy. About the case, Trump and 18 others were indicted last summer on state charges stemming from their alleged efforts to overturn the former president's 2020 electoral defeat. It is one of 4 criminal cases Trump faces while running again for president. One of 4 criminal cases. They're trying to get this man at every angle. They can't take him down. You can't bring a good man down, though. You can't take a good man down. All right. So that's that. Not a whole lot there. We're just doing election updates, Trump updates on all these cases that are going on. Should we read what Hannity had to say? Now today, the superior... Oh, no, that's more like a Tucker. I don't know if I can do a Hannity impression. Scott McAfee all but accused Willis of lying, corruption, and frankly gross misconduct. He slammed the financial cloud of impropriety surrounding her illicit affair and commingling of finances with the outside counsel that she hired with hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer funds to help prosecute, of course, Donald Trump. And now he called her bizarre outburst during testimony unprofessional. He accused both Willis and her lover Nathan Wade of potential untruthfulness. The judge even stated that an odor of mendacity remains. An odor of mendacity. What does mendacity mean? It's like tenacity, but mendacity. Quality of being mendacious, untruthfulness, tendency to lie. So it smells like lying. That's how you say it smells like lying in this piece. You say mendacity. What's up, Stephen Will? We learned a new word, mendacity, today. Nice. That's what Hannity had to say about it. Interesting. Look at the ad, Floor. It's a hummingbird feeder like you got, except it's a purple one. Purple hummingbird feeder. See, Floor was talking about hummingbird feeders, and then on my advertisements, hummingbird feeders pops up. All right. The term potential untruthfulness. No, what was the other word that they said? There was another word I didn't know what it meant. Officially resigned. Appears to be. It was it potential untruthfulness? Potential. Oh, did they spell it wrong? Because it says potential on truthfulness. He accused both Willis and her lover, Nathan Wade, of potential on truthfulness, is what it says. Maybe it's a typo. Yeah, potential untruthfulness makes more sense. Potential untruthfulness makes sense. Potential on truthfulness? I don't know if that's a legal term that I've never heard before, but they are just a typo. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I think it's a typo. I think they meant potential untruthfulness. But they put potential on truthfulness. Anyway. But that's enough about the Fanny. Is it Fanni or Fanny? Is it Fanny? Is it Fanny Pack? Or is it Fanni? I'm not sure, but we're not going to spend too much time on that story. I just wanted to check in, get updated, update you guys, let you see what's going on with that. But let's see. Next, let's get into this TikTok stuff. So here's what happened. Trump banned TikTok. Trump signed an executive order to ban TikTok shortly before he left office. Biden came in and revoked and repealed that. He signed another executive order that canceled that out. Now they're trying to sign another thing. The Supreme Court was hearing it today. They're trying to sign another thing to ban TikTok. And now people like Vivek and Trump are against it. And everybody else, bipartisan, both sides support it all of a sudden. When Trump wanted to do it, everybody hated it. It was a horrible idea. It was stupid. And now everybody loves it. It's bipartisan accepted. Whenever it's bipartisan, it's bad. The only things they've bipartisan agreed on is sending money to Ukraine, sending money to Israel, and a TikTok ban. So usually bipartisan sounds bad or is not good. But I've been wanting them to ban TikTok forever. I've been saying they should ban TikTok. And they didn't want to do it when Trump wanted to do it. Now they're going to do it, but Trump says no, he doesn't support it. It's a bad idea. There's a couple reasons why this could be. I'm trying to look from his perspective. Why would it make sense to support it then and not support it now? Well, here's a couple reasons. One, he could have drafted or had the original bill drafted, and it was a good bill to get rid of TikTok. Just get rid of TikTok. Just handle the ByteDance problem. ByteDance is a Chinese-owned company. They say this is all about China data farming. It's about data farming. ByteDance is mining our data through TikTok. If you've looked into it, basically, once you sign up for a TikTok account and you sign all that fine print and you get on there, China doesn't just have your TikTok data. China has your TikTok data, every app that you have on your phone, your Facebook data, your Instagram data, your email, your YouTube, your Google, and Google works with China, so this is all by design. And they have all that stuff. Not only do they have that, They also have all the information on all the contacts in your phone. They have information on all the people on your Facebook. Not just your Facebook, all your friends on Facebook, all your messages on Facebook. They have all that. Okay? So even if you don't have TikTok, if you're close to somebody who has TikTok, maybe you know them on Facebook, they have your phone number in their phone, they've wrote you text messages before. China's got all that on you too. So the data mining thing is stupid. China's had all of our data for 20 years now. And we're just now starting to worry about it. You know, we've had tracking devices in our cell phones for 20 years. Maybe not 20 years, but China's been mining the data. China's been stealing the intellectual property. We've been tracked on our phones. Why do you think they wanted to give all the homeless people free phones? So they could track you. So they could easily monitor you. Then they tried, during COVID, they were trying to install the contact tracing system. And that's all a test. That was all a test. That was all prep. And it's coming, boys. Well, it's already here. China has the data. They're tracking you. They're contact tracing you. They're creating a digital identity of you based off the things you say on the internet, blah, 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 blah. Feds are making a list. They're checking it twice. They're going to find out who's been naughty and who's been nice. So, you know, I hope I see you guys on the list. If you don't make it, then you're probably gay. No. If you don't make it on the list, you're probably kind of whack. But a $464 million bond is ridiculous. That's so much money. Was that what Trump had to pay for? That was the New York thing, right? They had to give $80 million to Carol. Yep. Okay. So why is Trump turncoating? My one thought is Biden's Democrat bipartisan bill may have a bunch of other things in it that lets them get their fingers in other stuff, just like their infrastructure bill, just like their Inflation Reduction Act bill. They'll put a bunch of stuff about building more pot shops. They'll put a bunch of stuff about supporting Ukraine. It'll be a bill to fix the roads, and it'll have, we got to build more pot shops and give more money to Ukraine. So maybe that's the case. Maybe this Democrat bipartisan TikTok bill that they drafted is not as good as Trump's bill. Maybe Trump's bill he feels was better, and that's why he doesn't support this one, but he supported that one. Another reason is probably simple, simple pride, ego thing. He wanted to be the one who got it done, and it needed to be done then. It needed to be done then. It's too late to put a cap on it now. Maybe that's what Trump's thinking. He wanted to shut it down early, nip it in the bud. Like I always say, you can't fix these things retroactively. Once the snowball starts rolling, it gets bigger and bigger, and it gets out of your control, and it just tears through the city. Maybe Trump knew that if you could stop it quick before TikTok got too big, then it would be fine. But we didn't do that. We waited 4 years. Now the Democrats draft a bill and everybody supports it. What's in this bill? Maybe that's why Trump doesn't support it. That would make sense to me. And then lastly, well, the reason that some conservatives like Vivek and Trump are going against it is they're saying that there is an allotment in the bill which basically sounds like a Trojan horse so that the government can put their fingers in all of the social media sites. So the way the bill's written, from what I've heard, is that it basically opens up a loophole where they could come into all of our social media. But honestly, well, I'm not pro free speech. I'm pro you're free to say you're free. How could I say this? It doesn't sound. It's almost like you got to use the word hate speech, but hate speech is subjective. So, like I would say, you're free to speak with love. You're not free to say some hateful things, but hate speech is not what the left means by hate speech. When I'm talking about hate speech, I'm talking about teaching a little boy how to put on makeup. I'm talking about a grown man on TikTok teaching a little boy how to wear makeup. Not only do I think that person should not be allowed to speak, I think they should be banished. I think they should be cast into the moat with a weight tied to their neck. That's what I think should happen to that person. So no, I don't support free speech. I don't think demons should be allowed to talk publicly, and definitely not anywhere near children. Nope. Free speech isn't for degenerates. Free speech isn't for everybody and they mama. I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, but free speech was for white Christian men in America, and that was it. That was it. And America at the time was a little group of guys. It was a little cluster of homogenous people who had similar ideas, similar beliefs, similar culture, similar background in a group. That was who free speech was for. It wasn't for everybody. It wasn't for everybody. I know that might irk some of the conservatives who aren't really conserving much. We got to conserve the Constitution, but it's got like 50 amendments, and some of them are whack. Some of them are horrible. So you didn't conserve that. You didn't stop that from happening. So now you say you are conservative, and you want to conserve, you're a constitutional conservative. You want to conserve the Constitution. Well, the Constitution's already been amended to hell and back again. It's a mess. The Constitution also doesn't apply to everybody, 330 million people of every culture, every national background, every origin, everything. The Constitution doesn't apply to all of them. So what are you conserving? You worship the Constitution. The Constitution is not what it was. And America is not what it was when the Constitution was written. So something's got to change, because I don't think that diaper snipers should be allowed to talk. I don't think diaper snipers should be allowed to own a weapon. Nope. I think there's certain degenerate things that God could forgive you for, but man can't forgive you for that. And the law shouldn't forgive you for that. You shouldn't be able to go on TikTok and spread degeneracy to children. So, yeah, I don't care about free speech. I care about Christians speaking freely. Nobody else. Nobody else. Because if you don't have God as your moral foundation, then I can't trust that the stuff you're saying is not a lie. I can't trust that the stuff you're saying is not Satan speaking through you to the kids on TikTok. So I'm cool with a TikTok ban. I'm okay with a little book burning here and there. I'm okay with a little restrictions on speech. And I'm okay with demons not being allowed to own weapons. So, really, all this problem would be solved if we just banished them. That's all we got to do is banish them. We don't have to pay money for jails. Just banish them to the wilderness. But anyway, let's read some of these articles about the TikTok thing, because I don't have all the details right. That was just off the top. What's up, bro? TikTok. Oh yeah, this is funny. We'll say this one for last. So this is one of the complaints. Okay, let's read from NPR. The House passed it, a TikTok ban bill. So it's still probably got to pass Senate. Hashtag keep TikTok. TikTok helped me grow my business. TikTok helped me grow my business. Did it help you grow your belt size? Holy crap. God, it helped you grow something? This woman large. The House passed a TikTok ban bill, but is the app really a national security threat? The House of Representatives passed legislation on Wednesday giving TikTok two choices: find a buyer for the immensely popular video app, or face a nationwide ban in the U.S. President Biden has indicated he would sign the law, but first it must clear the Senate, where it faces an uncertain future. Several other anti-TikTok efforts in the Senate have stalled, and it is too soon to tell whether the House's legislation will meet a different fate. Whatever happens with this measure, it marks the first time a chamber of Congress has passed a bill that could shut down a social media platform based. A move that civil liberties advocates say tramples the free speech rights of millions of American users. No, it doesn't. Because those people already aren't free speech sites. It's so funny. It's so funny how liberal media will flip their narrative when it fits them. So the argument from the left, whenever the right said YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, they're banning me because I'm conservative. They're banning me because I talked about the Koof Vaseline. They're banning me because I talked about the laptop. They're banning me because I talked about the election. What was the left's rebuttal to that? Well, it's not a private platform, or it's a private company. It's not a platform. It's a private company. It's a it's private. So there's no free speech that applies there. You can't make that argument. It's a private company. They're allowed to ban who they want to ban. It's free. That you don't get free speech in a private place, in a private company, right? That was always the argument. Now they want to ban it, and they're saying people are going to lose their free speech right. Is it private or is it dang free speech? Is it a platform or is it private? We've been wanting to know this for years. They get subsidies at it as if they are a platform, but yet they act as a private entity. They ban who they want to ban. So which is it? And if they're getting the subsidy, they need to not get the subsidies. They can be a private platform. They can ban whoever they want. They can ban the company. I don't care about people crying about free speech on the internet. Shut up. You signed an agreement. When you signed up for the app, you signed an agreement. You don't have free speech there. And they can shut it down if they want to shut it down. And what's happening is these influencers are freaking out because I went viral on TikTok. I got like 10,000 subscribers on TikTok. Bro, if you have 10,000 subscribers or followers on TikTok, 8,900 of them are bots. Chinese bots. They're fake. Okay? Your TikTok views are fake. You're not. And how much money are these people making? I'm sure there's some very rich people who got rich. Not rich, but people have made good money off TikTok, I'm sure. But the average person who has 5,000 TikTok followers is not making that much money off of it. They're not making that much money. I know how much money they're making. They're not making that much money. Maybe you're making $20 a month off your 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, your 20,000 subscribers on TikTok. You got 20,000 subscribers on TikTok. I bet you're not breaking $100 a month. I bet you. And they're freaking out. Oh, my viral business where I record 1-minute clips of nothing or I put out informative videos on TikTok. They're 1 minute long, and we talk about the history of America in 1 minute. Nothing worth learning can be learned in 1 minute. Nothing worth, and it's not entertainment. It's brain rot. It's scroll hole. You get locked in a scroll hole. It's like a ketamine K hole or a G hole, a GHB G hole. It's a scroll hole. You get in a TikTok scroll hole. And it's brain rotting people. It's making them dumber. It's destroying the kids. Ban it. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. So I don't care if Trump disagrees. I don't care if Vivek disagrees. I don't care about free speech. But now, if the wrong team is controlling our speech, that's not good. That's not good. That's tyrannical authoritarianism. There's nothing wrong with authoritarianism. There's nothing wrong with laws and order. The problem is when the authority is tyrannical. So, I don't care about free speech, but I want the good guys controlling the speech. I don't want the bad guys controlling the speech. So, get where I'm coming from. I don't care if we shut down a little bit of speech, but it needs to be the right side doing it. And I don't mean right or left. I mean right or wrong. The correct side needs to be controlling the speech. Anyway, The creators are crying. Alex Perlman shut the door on dreams of a stand-up comedy career almost a decade ago, pivoting from the stage to an office cubicle where he worked a customer service job. This is going to be a story about this guy. Then he started posting random jokes and commentary about pop culture and politics on TikTok. Just over 2.5 million followers later, he quit his 9 to 5 and recently booked his first nationwide tour. Wow, it's a success story. Wonder how many of his jokes are stolen. Perlman is among many TikTok creators across the U.S. outraged over a bipartisan bill passed by the House of Representatives on Wednesday that would lead to a nationwide ban of the popular video app, if its China-based owner ByteDance doesn't sell its stake. The bill still needs to go through the Senate, where its prospects are unclear. Content creators say a ban would hurt countless people and businesses that rely on TikTok for a significant portion of their income, while also arguing that TikTok has become an unrivaled platform for dialogue and community. There's no dialogue on TikTok. There's liberals yelling at people. If you disagree, they gang up on you. They'll bring all their friends in, and then they'll ban you. They'll just kick you out. That's what it is on TikTok. And these are not content creators. They use websites where they throw a video on there. You could throw a 10-minute video on there, and it will chop up 90 different shorts for you. And then you just upload those shorts. It'll have all the word bubbles that pop up. We've done it on the stream. It's not high effort. It's not creative. It's not intelligent. Ban it. Get it out of here. And if you dedicated a chunk of your life to building a TikTok following, then that's your fault. You get what you deserve. You should have paid attention. You should have read the signs. You should have listened. Because we've been saying get off of TikTok since the beginning. But then everybody slowly gets over to TikTok. Oh, look, I'm getting all these followers. They set it up like that on purpose. The reason you're not making anything and you have 10,000 followers on TikTok is because it's set up to be that way. That's how they get you hooked. You have a bunch of bots following you. Those aren't real people. So, just so you know, if you're making $200 a month off of your 10,000 TikTok followers and TikTok gets banned, don't cry about it. You should have paid attention. You should have listened. I'm sick of telling people I told you so. I think all of the people on the right that pay attention, not the normies, the people that are actually paying attention to what's going on in the world, I think we're all sick and tired of telling people I told you so. It's getting really old. So I don't want to hear nothing about it. If TikTok gets shut down, I don't want to see nobody crying about, oh, I lost my TikTok channel. I was really reaching people. I was making a difference out here. No, you weren't. Shut up. You're making people dumber. You're contributing to the dumbness of people. Get off. I was just about to download it. Rome was just about to cave. She was just about to cave in and get TikTok. And also, if you're on TikTok, you know, maybe you're putting good content on TikTok. Maybe you're putting Christian content on TikTok. But good luck with that, because they'll ban you for certain Bible verses because they're misogynist and homophobic. If it's okay if you teach little boys how to wear makeup and wear dresses and stuff. If you're a 53-year-old fat guy in a basement with a dress on, you can teach little boys how to wear girls' clothes. That's fine. But certain Bible verses will get you banned on TikTok. So what are you going to TikTok to make a difference for? I know the Crucible, they did their TikTok takeover or their TikTok invasion where they were going on there to debate people. And they did it for a while. But even they stopped doing that pretty quickly. Even though it was very popular on their channel, they quit doing it pretty quickly because I think they realized pretty quickly that there's nothing there. There's nothing there. You're not. But maybe there is something. Maybe you can gain a following there. Maybe you can go there and debate people and destroy them and then go on your other channel. You know, sometimes we got to go into the arena with Satan where he's at. I get that. I get that position. But at the same time, I'm not going to lose an ounce of sleep if TikTok gets banned. In fact, I hope it does. I hope it does, and I hope everybody who developed a channel there and a following there, I hope they become homeless, and then they can come to my channel and I can help them out on YouTube. Because YouTube is so much better. It's not. It's really not so much better, but it's a little better. Crimea River. Pay attention, Freddie. Pay attention, Freddie. I know paying attention is tough for you. Pay attention, Freddie. I'm talking about other people crying because TikTok is getting banned. I'm clapping and happy that TikTok's getting banned. Pay attention, Freddie. I know it's tough. You got a lot of money. You can flash all your money, but you can't afford to pay attention, which is free. Huh. Wow. Okay, so the House did pass it. Senate's got to pass it. Creators are crying. So let's look at Trump's TikTok flip. Let's see what Axio has to say about it. I don't think they're going to have, but he has flip-flopped. Former President Trump stunned Republican China hawks this week when he appeared to argue against banning TikTok. The juggernaut video app owned by Beijing-based ByteDance and beloved by young Americans, is destroying them. Why it matters, Trump spearheaded the original U.S. threat to ban TikTok over national security concerns. 4 years later, President Biden and Congress have picked up the mantle with a bipartisan bill targeting ByteDance, set to hit the House floor next week. Now, also, I've heard another reason this is happening right now, and it didn't happen under Trump, and this is an interesting take. Another reason that the bipartisan politicians are getting behind it is because the ADL is on the case. The ADL is coming after TikTok. Now, when Trump wanted to do it, they didn't want to do it. But when there's a war in Israel, and TikTok is the number one place to go for anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian propaganda. That's the pro-Palestinian movement is really being pushed on TikTok, and the ADL doesn't like that. And the politicians don't want to upset the ADL, the whore juice. You know what I'm saying? When there's a war in Israel and people are supporting the terrorists, the ADL is going to get involved, and I think that also has something to do with why now they want to ban it. Now they want to ban it because they're talking bad about Israel. If only Nick Fuentes and Kanye West and everybody else who got banned for anti-Semitism, if only they had waited till the war started, and then they could just go on TikTok and say all the anti-Semitic stuff they want. Kanye would never get banned for saying what he said on InfoWars if he was on TikTok. They would love him on TikTok. They're all terrorist supporters over there. So, but that is also could be why they're finally decided to do it. Driving the news, if you get rid of TikTok, Facebook and Zucker Schmuck will double their business. I don't want Facebook, who cheated in the last election, doing better. They are a true enemy of the people. Yeah, but wouldn't you rather... I mean, I don't know how American he is, but I'd rather Facebook and YouTube do better than TikTok do better. Hours earlier, a House committee voted unanimously to advance a bill backed by Biden that would force ByteDance to divest its ownership in TikTok within 165 days. Members of Congress were bombarded with calls and threats from angry constituents this week after TikTok launched an aggressive campaign warning its users that the app was at risk of being shut down in the U.S. Let's go. Neither Trump nor his campaign posts on TikTok, but the shift in position is a sign that the former president recognizes the platform's massive appeal to younger voters, many of whom are disenchanted with Biden. Also, Vivek said TikTok was digital fentanyl for kids, and then he started a TikTok. And now he's got a following on TikTok, and now he doesn't want to ban TikTok anymore. So you see the motivation. But Trump's not posting on TikTok, but he flip-flopped. Why is he flip-flopping? MAGA content does very well on TikTok. So Trump doesn't support it because he doesn't want Facebook to get a bump. He's really more mad at Facebook because Facebook was one of the leaders of pushing the election misinformation. So I think that's about all I got to say about that. Donald Trump flip-flops on TikTok and now rails against a ban. There are a lot of people on TikTok that love it. There are a lot of young kids on TikTok who will go crazy without it. That's a horrible take, Trump. That's a garbage take, Trump. You're wrong. The kids are going crazy because of it. That's a horrible take, Trump. Saying that without it, you can make Facebook bigger, and I consider Facebook to be an enemy of the people. I think TikTok's a bigger enemy of the people than Facebook, but I get where he's coming from on that one. He said that while he still believes TikTok is a national security risk, other apps are a risk as well, and singled out the Meta-owned platform. I think Facebook has been very bad for our country, especially when it comes to elections. Last week, he said banning TikTok would help Facebook and Zuckerschmuck double their business. That is funny, though. Does Trump's TikTok ban position flip-flop? What's behind his change of heart? Basically, he doesn't want Facebook to get boosted. I know why Vivek flipped, because he started a TikTok and he's probably making money off of it. Trump's just flipping just because he doesn't want to boost up Facebook, really? Is that the argument? Is that the argument? I think he wants his name attached to it. I think he's probably mad. It could be a pride thing. It could be a pride thing with him. Because I think he's a prideful man. And it could be a pride thing. He wants his name on the bill. But I don't know. I'm not inside his head. And I'm not at that pay grade. So I don't know. He might know things about the current bill that we don't know. Maybe it's a bad bill. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope it gets banned. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Washington Post not going to let me read this story about barbecue. Where's my barbecue story? Let's watch a video. We haven't watched any clips yet. Let's watch a clip. Let's move on. Spend like 15 minutes talking about this Haiti situation. But we still love YouTube, right, kids? Yay. All right. Let me see. We're going to talk about Haiti. I'm late to this story. I'm real late to this story. It's been going on for a while. Crime, violence, the gangs have taken over in Haiti. And it's getting wild down there. And we got a new General Barbecue or Chief Barbecue, something like that. And they're eating people. Hold on, I'll be right back. They're freaking eating people. What the? Oh, I didn't share the link for the show anywhere. Un momento. Take a quick break. Quick commercial break. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend, share the video out. You know, if you know people that are watching some lame brain rot content, you know, get them over here. Tell them, hey, stop simping for 2 seconds. Stop watching TikTok. Stop watching the girls shake their booty and get over to the Dreadedconservative show on Monday nights. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? What are you really doing with your life? Don't be hating on Haiti. Don't be Haitian. Don't be hating on Haiti. I gotta light a cigarette because we're about to talk about barbecue. Me and you. Stanky, panky, panky, pew. Shout outs if you know what that's from. Bonus points if you know what that's from. Cannibalism. Eesh. Well, you know, I'm sure Freddie would love it in Haiti. He's a moral subjectivist. He believes that cannibalism's fine if you're in a country where they eat people. That's just what they believe, and that's right for them. You know, morals are subjective. Everybody decides their own morals. Nobody can tell anybody what's right or wrong. If you say that, you sound like Pearl Davis talking to Michael Knowles. Who are you, the arbiter of what's right and what's wrong? Well, no, God is, and I follow him, and I have logic and reason given to me by God so we can determine what's right and what's wrong. Duh. Oh, no, you don't decide. Nobody decides for anybody what's right and what's wrong. That's moral subjectivity. That is where you end up with cannibals. Because why wouldn't you eat people? Why wouldn't you? It is from the Green Mile. She got it. Rope is killing it. It is from the Green Mile. Yep. That's when he said there's a French fried bundle of sticks named Delacroix. That was when Delacroix got cooked. And Perry didn't was it Perry? Didn't wet the sponge. He didn't wet the sponge. So Delacroix straight barbecued. Delacroix got barbecued, and Haitians would have eaten him. The Haitians would have eaten him. So let's see what's going on here. Watch the Post. Not going to let me read its thing.
It's pledged another $130 million.
Nope. I don't want to watch that yet. I want to watch
Jacqueline,
this.
during the break, I was talking about how lucky we are to have you here to talk about what is going on in Haiti. Can you get us quickly up to speed so people can understand?
Hey, we got a Haitian and an Asian. Look at this. It's all women. I guess women are the ones watching daytime news, so I understand it. We got a Haitian woman and an Asian woman.
And how this just didn't erupt overnight.
The Marines.
No, it did not.
The Marines have been sent to the embassy. Marines have been sent to the embassy. We've pledged them $130 million so far. I think, or more than that. But we're giving them another $130 million.
You know, ever since the 2010 earthquake, which left over 300,000 people dead, this has been a country in a downward spiral. We've watched the rise of gangs. We've watched the departure of a United Nations peacekeeping force. We've watched elections that have been highly controversial. And
what's up, producer?
We have seen where a president was in power.
Yes, the sponge is supposed to be wet. If you don't wet the sponge, they cook him, baby. It's a barbecue. We have watched elections that have been highly...
And then we had to fall into a transition because you couldn't make that move. So today, you know, we had a...
Bro, they got nice guns, though. They got some serious guns.
A president who was assassinated in 2010, July 7th.
Look at this. Later, we had a... Look at this. It's like 10 soldiers, and there's a whole mass of people. Those guys are done for.
Major earthquake again. But then we also fell into a political vacuum with a constitutional crisis because President Jovenel Moïse, during his 4 years in office, he had never had an election. When he was killed in the middle of the night, he was one of 11 elected officials. Him and 10 senators. Those 10 senators left. And today you have a country that its constitution cannot be applied. So what we saw this week was the international community, the Caribbean leaders with the United States. Secretary of State Blinken personally stopped everything he was doing, flew to Jamaica, and with Haitians on a Zoom call because they can't get out of the country because there hasn't been any major carriers flying there as a result of the unrest, basically said, okay, we need to put together some sort of a deal that you guys couldn't do when Moïse was in power, and you didn't do when Ariel Henry was there, but we need to figure out what this transition is going to look like. And to...
Man, I never heard I never heard a Haitian, I never heard a black woman with the, you know, like a little bit of the tism talk. If you got the tism talk, I'm not trying to be offensive to you, but I hear it. And it's become more and more prevalent. I talk to a lot of people, and they have that tism talk. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, it's not a lisp. It's like a speech impediment, but it's not like a speech impediment. It's just like not fully enunciating word, like talking like this. You talk kind of like this. Do you know what I can't do it. I can't do it. But she's got a little touch of the tism talk. You know what I'm talking about?
Today, we're waiting for the names of the 9 individuals who are going to make up some presidential council, and then they have to get a prime minister, and then they have to prepare the country for a multinational security support mission from Kenya, if it comes, and then eventually take Haiti to elections. But in the meantime, you've got...
It's not too bad. I only noticed a touch of it, but do you know what I'm talking? That sound? Anyway, enough of this lady talking. I'll read the articles. I want to read this. Who is barbecue? This is barbecue. Jimmy Barbecue Former police officer Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier is alleged to have played a role in multiple massacres. So this guy's running stuff now. He's a gang leader. Haitian police try to retake port after major operation in gang leader Barbecue's stronghold. They call him Barbecue. He eats people. Haitian police are trying to regain control of the capital's main port, officials said. This is from Yahoo News. On Saturday, after they killed several bandits while conducting a major operation in the stronghold of gang leader Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier. Special forces, soldiers, and police officers carried out a raid against gangs in Bas Delmes on Friday evening with the aim of unblocking a road, said Lionel Lazar of the Haitian police unit. Several bandits were killed, he said, without providing more details. Another operation was underway on Saturday morning. Could you guys even hear that clip? Or was the volume super low? The volume was pretty low, huh? Anyway. Cigarette's going out. I'll put it out. Just save it. We'll save it for later. Another operation was underway on Saturday morning as law enforcement officers attempted to regain control of the capital's main port, where gang members had looted several containers. A source at the port told AFP. The port has been shut since March 7th because of the violence. The operation came as attacks continued in Haiti's capital port, Au-Prince, on Friday in the aftermath of the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry. Violence targeted the airport and a top police official's home, while residents mounted roadblocks in two spots, both to impede the criminal gangs and signal their own frustrations, an AFP reporter said. The country's unselected prime minister said he would step down on Monday as he faced international pressure while stranded in Puerto Rico as an escalation of fighting in the capital prevented him from returning home. So they're going crazy over there. Let's see this video. We got an ad. Can I mute the ad? I can't mute the ad. We're not going to watch it. 46-year-old says barbecue guy was formerly an officer of the Haitian National Police Force. He is alleged by the United States to have played a role in multiple massacres, including killing over 70 people in 2018 when over 400 homes in the capital's La Saline neighborhood were set on fire. From what Fleckus was saying, I don't know the history of Haiti, but apparently France owned Haiti. And at the time that the French were in charge, which I'm not a fan of the French, but at the time the French were in charge, Haiti was one of the richest places in the world. And then they rose up and they massacred all the French people and they took over Haiti. And look at it now. Man, I love being right. Don't you love when you can observe things and see things to be true, but you're not allowed to call it out because it makes you racist? Wow. Cherzier was originally from the Delmas area of Port-au-Prince, went on to announce the creation of 2020 of a gang alliance called the G9 Family and Allies. So yeah, that's going on crazy right now. Meanwhile, we're sending them some money. We got to send Haiti some money. Let's make sure. And I'm sure the people are going to see all that money. I'm sure it's not going to go straight to the gang leaders who eat people.
Security forces and humanitarian aid has pledged another $130 million in security forces and humanitarian aid for Haiti. Armed groups have been threatening to overthrow the prime minister for weeks now.
Guys, I can't focus on anything this girl is saying. It's very distracting. This is very distracting. I can't focus on anything she's saying. She has big, beautiful, voluptuous eyes. Her eyes are beautiful. I could just stare into those eyes.
Prompting the U.S. to evacuate American personnel from the Caribbean nation. ABC's Melissa Adon has details.
New video from Haiti shows the deteriorating conditions on the Caribbean island following the gang-led rebellion attempting to overthrow the government. The main hospital in Port-au-Prince only with a few patients left after all doctors and nurses left. The U.S. military also evacuating non-essential personnel from the U.S. Embassy in Haiti's capital. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Jamaica for an emergency meeting with Caribbean leaders amid the crisis.
We all know that urgent action is needed.
Hey, Blinken. His name is A. Blinken. You ever seen Robin Hood Men in Tights? Hey, Blinken. Did you just say A Blinken? No, I said A Blinken. Oops, those things could give you a concussion. No, I'll talk about her eyes, guys. Her eyes.
On both the political and security tracks.
I have big eyes
Move
too.
things in a
Stop
better
looking at
direction.
another woman's
Help
eyes.
do right by the people of Haiti.
The U.S. has previously pledged to provide $200 million to the cause, bringing the total to $300 million. Blinken also pledging an additional $33 million.
I will say this about Haiti. I like a head carry. There's nothing wrong with a head carry. Every now and then, you got to carry something like a bucket or something. Have you ever tried putting it on your head? It's really great. I really like it. I think it's smart. It's probably good for your posture. Probably strengthens your neck and your spine. Keeps you standing straight. Put a bucket on your head every now and then, ladies, guys. I'm okay with that. That guy had a carpet. He had a whole roll of carpet on his head. He's just going to go throw it on the dirt somewhere and make a house. But yeah, a head carry is classic. I like that.
From the U.S. for
Look, head carry
needs in Haiti, the country experiencing one of
the
the worst
shout out head carry. I told you, they know what's up. These kids know what's up. That's a great way to carry a box. I like it.
Humanitarian crisis in the world, according to
that lady wasn't doing a head carry. She's lame.
Nonprofits like Hungry in Haiti, who say they are struggling to get food and water distributed.
We have a fuel shortage, so trucks and vehicles are stuck. We don't have access to our warehouse.
ABC's Matt Rivers speaking to the warlord.
Truck and vehicle in the warehouse.
Behind the rebellion, demanding the prime minister step down.
If Ariel Henry resigns, will you stop fighting?
Telling Matt if the prime minister resigns, they will automatically stop the attacks. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right. So Haiti stuff is crazy. We're sending them $130 million. Meanwhile, they're barbecuing. They call him barbecue because he cooks people and they eat them. They eat people. There's videos of them eating people on the internet. I'm not going to show any of those, but okay, we read some of this article. Haiti violence. U.S. announces charter flight as clashes continue. Look, this guy's stealing a tire, or he's throwing a tire in the fire. Throwing a tire in the fire. Throw the tire in the fire. And the Marines are at the embassy. And shocker, what are they telling us now? What's the Hill saying? What are we getting next? We got the Venezuelan migrants released from the prisons. Now we're going to get gangsters who eat people migrating from Haiti. A boat with 25 migrants from Haiti interdicted. What the dike did. Interdicted off Florida. A boat carrying 25 migrants from Haiti was recently interdicted by Florida law enforcement, state officials said Friday. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said Florida Fish and Wildlife officers intercepted the vessel within the last couple of weeks. Yeah, isn't intercepted the right word? Why does it say interdicted? Interdicted. And I'm sure there's a joke there somewhere. In their boat, in their vessel, they had firearms, they had drugs, they had night vision gear. Oh my God, these Haitians have night vision. What's worse than fighting a black guy? Fighting a black guy in the dark. What's worse than fighting a black guy in the dark? Fighting a black guy in the dark who has night vision. Wouldn't it be great if we had these when we were kids? Better yet, we have them when we're gangsters running the country. What the hell is that sound? Oh, it's the coffee maker. It's like, what the heck? Florida Fish and Wildlife released a statement acknowledging that officers had intercepted a boat carrying multiple illegal Haitian immigrants, guns, and night vision equipment. on February 29th. After stopping the vessel, officers immediately knew they had intercepted a human smuggling operation, the agency said. On Thursday, DeSantis announced Florida would deploy additional law enforcement resources to the southern regions of the state in anticipation of a possible wave of Haitian migrants as the country struggles with street violence and political instability. The Florida governor, speaking at a press conference, said he signed 3 bills that target illegal immigration in the state. He also said the state had been looking at boats before the announcement Thursday, and the law enforcement is going to continue to do it. DeSantis criticized the federal government for failing to take responsibility and said it is not really Florida's responsibility to increase its resources to combat the influx of migrants. We've got an incredible amount of resources that are now on display, he said, later adding that the Coast Guard does, by and large, a good job, but they're undermanned. They're under-resourced, and we're filling those gaps. DeSantis used the speech to slam President Biden for his border policies and said migrants from all over the world, as well as Haiti, are going to have an easier time entering the United States by walking across the border than anywhere else because they know that Biden will just let everybody in. There you go, Floor. So DeSantis cracking down. The Haitians are coming. The Haitians are coming. Where's Paul Revere at when you need him? Paul Revere is about to get barbecued. DeSantis sends soldiers aircraft to protect Florida from illegal immigrant boats and Haiti unrest. We're not going to watch this.
Gang violence and lawlessness taking over.
We'll watch it for a minute.
U.S. missionaries fearing for their lives and begging for help. Jill Dolan, who runs an orphanage there, telling the New York Post, quote, "My fear is that we will be caught in the middle of something really dangerous. We're already on the front lines of it. We're in a bad area. It's kind of depressing. The gunfire never stops."
Yeah,
Jack
well,
Brewer's been helping children in Haiti for decades.
Maybe you could have ran an orphanage in America and helped out people, poor kids who need help in America, instead of running off to Haiti to try to virtue signal to the rest of the world. Anyway, so we got Americans stranded there. We talked about that. One last article before we move on. A lucky few escape while millions face gang rule, hunger, and chaos. Pretty much just more of the same. There are a few places left to go. All roads leading out of the city are blocked by gangs, as is the access to the port, and the city's international airport has been shuttered. Its walls pocked with bullet holes. Nothing is coming in either. The city's grocery stores are running out of food. Gas stations are out of fuel. Hospitals are short on blood. So this is happening everywhere, all over the world. But the violence is especially rampant in Haiti, due to the fact that they eat people. Can we really just hold on? Let me make this clear. Haitians eating people. Just Google Haitians eating people. Millions of Haitians face starvation as gangs aim for total takedown. News about violence. I'm not going to find it on YouTube. Here we go. Face to face with a cannibalistic sect. Oh, no, this is not in Haiti. This is old. This is old. Ew, what the heck? Gang boss barbecue seizes control of the capital. Anyway, I don't want to show any videos, but word on the street is they eat people. YouTube's not giving me any videos, but I bet you can find some videos if you really want to see what we're talking about. Just be glad that stuff isn't happening on our land. It is going to happen on our land. It's coming to America. We just did a story about Haitian immigrants are going to come here. All that stuff's coming here. People in America eat people too, but not like that. When we have one person that's eating somebody, it's a big deal. You know, they get in a lot of trouble. They got whole gangs roving the streets and running the country who eat people. So, not good. No bueno. All right, guys, that's it for the news, for the main story news. We got some more stuff in rapid fire. We'll do an Israel update, a Ukraine update, some weather news. We got a couple other little stories. We'll burn through those. But first, let's Let's take a break from the news for a second. And if I can find my folder. Where's my folder? There it is. All right, guys. It's time for the news. This is a magic card. It's a Eminem magic card. Legendary creature, human bard. And it's a black card, but its skill is Eminem is white. Eminem's not white. Eminem is S tier black guy. We did a black people tier list the other night. That was fun. All right. But yeah, Eminem is definitely beta, but he's still the best rapper, and he's white and black. Next. This is Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. That's Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. They're about to fight. The fight's coming, boys. The fight's coming. I know everybody thinks Jake Paul's just going to get knocked out and it's going to be over. I disagree. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. Coming up, Mike Tyson's about to eat Jake Paul, and he's freaking out. He's crying. Miss Germany 2024. Oh! That's Miss Germany. This is random Aldi's cashier. Hey, you can get Aldi's. You need to calm down, girl. You can get Aldi's. Yeah, the random cashier at Aldi's is way hotter than Miss Germany. Miss Germany. Oh no. Next. I used to think Mr. Popo was a... Remember we talked about Mr. Popo being a Moor a couple weeks ago? Well, this person says, I used to think Mr. Popo was a slave or blackface character in Dragon Ball Z, but after some digging, I realized Mr. Popo represents Mahakala, the god of time. Now it makes sense that Mr. Popo was also the guardian of the hyperbolic time chamber. I see the resemblance. Let me see the resemblance. I think he looks more like this guy than and then Freddie says he's a Moor. And I pulled up pictures of Moors. And so we know what a Moor looks like. I don't know how I do something at the same time every week for almost 2 years now, and people still don't have any idea that I'm doing it on Monday night. It's crazy. It's just crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me. No. Next. All the men in the world. Toriyama dying during Women's Day to save us from propaganda. Got him. He protected us from the propaganda on Women's Day. Thank you, Toriyama. Thank you, Toriyama Sensei. One last sacrifice that you made. Excellent. It's sad, though. Toriyama's dead. Miss Germany needs to go on a tour of one of those Holocaust camps and stay. Oh, my God. I shouldn't have said that word. I'm not supposed to say that word. H-Cost. HVAC. I'm taking her to the back stock room on my break. Oh, of Aldi's? Aldi's nuts. Yes, that was the joke room. Yes. Next. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's hard to say. My dwarf girlfriend has been a bit down recently because people keep remarking on her size. So to cheer her up when she gets home from work, I've got her flowers, chocolates, wine, and I'm going to run her a nice hot sink. A nice hot sink. Get it? Get it? Next. Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, we investigate why those who've never worn a mask and refuse to get the Vaseline are all doing fine. Next. Haiti relief. Barbecue sauce. It's a groiper plan with barbecue sauce. Guys, we know you're hungry. We know Colonel Barbecue's eating you. We're bringing you some Sweet Baby Ray's for all that human meat that you're eating. A hot sink. Yes. Next. I hope our names are touching on the watch list. Guys, if you're not on the list, then you're lame. I hope that our names are touching. I hope we get a close spot on the list. All you guys, I hope you're all on the list with me. The Fed watch list. I hope we're close on the list together. Next. Well, Bright Eyes, it all started with electric cars and eating bugs. Yep, pretty much. Next. Boeing whistleblower. Boeing whistleblower. Why would he do this to himself? Why would he do this to himself? Nobody? We'll talk about the Boeing whistleblowers. I got that story in rapid fire. Next. Oh, Billy blows on, not Bibby. That's not Bibby. Billy blows on the, what are these things called? Dandelion. Mom says, "Did you wish for a vagina, Billy?" He said, "I wish you would stop using me as a prop for attention and approbation and get help for your mental illness, Mom." Mom.
It's a man, baby.
Nice. Next. How we imagined AI. How AI turned out. Looks to be exactly the same, except all humans are a threat is how we imagined AI. How AI turned out, all white people are a threat. Yep. Sounds about right. AI's coming for you, white people. Next. 1987. This is your brain on drugs. 2023. You can't afford the egg. The gas stove is being outlawed. The only thing you can get is the drugs. Yep. Sounds about right. Next. Cognitive decline, memory loss, talking to dead people. Hold on. Why can't I, how do I? Cognitive decline, memory loss, talking to dead people. We don't have many openings. How about carrying the nuclear codes, Joe? Give Joe the nuclear codes. That's why they made blackface illegal, so we can't hide. We can't hide from the AI? Oh, that makes sense. I wonder if they make finger nuggets or deep fry the meat. In Haiti? Probably both. If a chicken wing is a chicken finger, would a human finger be a human wing? Would that be wings? Next. All right. We got one of these. Beta.
It's a man, baby.
Yep. We got a man. Can anyone offer me practical advice on how to learn a feminine voice? I absolutely hate my male voice. It's my only giveaway that I'm a trans woman. A kick in the balls might work. He said bollocks, but we're American. A kick in the balls might raise your voice a few octaves. You want to sound more like a woman? Just get kicked in the balls.
It's a man, baby.
Beta. Next. We stand with Ukraine. We stand with the military-industrial complex. Yep. Sounds about right. Different strokes. No, that's messed up. That's messed up. Different strokes. Oh my God. This is so. Oh my God. Okay. Different strokes. They all had strokes. Next. Someone needs to get fired. Target shopper orders 3 queer books online. Then they sent a Bible. They ordered 3 queer books online. But they sent A Bible.
It's a man, baby.
One Bible coming right up, says Chad. Chad says, I'm going to send this person a Bible. That's funny. Hey, good job, Target. Good job, Target. I'll give you points for that one. Next. Oh, it's Hillary. It's Hillary. Hillary saying, suicide hotline, how can I help you? Boeing exec says, I'd like to place an order, Hillary.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy. Next. Romantic date ideas for 2024. Flora, these are date ideas that we can do. Building bug out bags, survival camping, firearm training, and foraging. These are great date ideas for 2024 because you're going to need all these skills. Next. A little golden book collection. Barry and Mike. How two guys from Chicago pulled off the greatest fraud in the history of the world.
It's a man, baby. Beta.
Next. Killdozer Dreams, Dollar General budget. Nice. It's a little mini Killdozer. Nice. Wait till I get my money right. I'll be getting a dang Killdozer, boy. Let's go. Next. I think I've done this meme before, but it's so funny for Women's Month. International Women's Day. You could have ironed it, ladies. Ladies, you couldn't at least iron the International Women's Day flag. You didn't have time to iron it. Nobody could iron the flag. We can't iron the flag. Okay, next. Greggy, Weed Lord Krillin. Greggy says, when filling out a job application, I saw they had a section for previous life experience. So I wrote down that I was a pharaoh in 2030 BC. Right, Freddie? Right, Freddie? Freddie, am I right, Freddie? Am I right, Freddie? Next. Everyone gangster until Denmark pulls out the MG3 mounted assault tuk-tuk. Floor, it's a tuk-tuk. It's a military assault tuk-tuk with an MG3 mounted machine gun. It's an assault tuk-tuk. Danger! Assault tuk-tuk. Next. Is there anything she can't do? It's Lizzo. Is there anything she can't do? Go skydiving in a yellow jumpsuit without the world believing the sun is falling. The sun is falling. Lizzo's coming down. Nuke alert! Ah! Okay, next. Remember, male to female. Why assign gender type to electrical elements? Let them decide who they want to be. The whole plant melts down. The whole plant melts down. That's beta electricity.
Beta!
Next. This is my second family in 4th grade. Went with them to take family pics, and they told me to hop in. Oh, man. What a family picture. What a family picture. Hey, Black. Next. My wife said if I get 1 million likes, I can name our son Goku. Next picture. He's got a spirit bomb. He's holding the spirit bomb. I'm keeping my word. Our son's name will be Goku Sanchez. Nice.
It's a man, baby.
Sounds about right. Next. We need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance. We need 12 hugs a day for growth. Virginia Satir, American author and psychotherapist. 4 hugs a day for survival? What? No, I'm not hugging anybody for survival. Next. My bae, she stole my heart. Bitch stole Christmas too. She stole Christmas. Okay, next. Why does the goat's financial status matter? Komodo dragon attacks poor goat. Why does the goat's financial status matter? I know. Why's it got to be a poor goat? Bah! Bah! Okay, next. And that's it for the moves. That's all the memes we got. That's all the memes we got. Dean, you've told him that 37 times. You've told him that 37 times. He gets it. We know. Stop riding his nuts, Dean. That's not that good. He just flies the drone. They all look like that. That's how all drone footage looks. He's not out there doing barrel rolls and like flyover shots and zoom ins and stuff. That's good. Don't gas him up. Don't gas him up. Okay. Nut riding. Next. What are we doing next? We got some reels and rapid fire news. Reels and rapid fire news. We got quite a bit, so we're gonna burn through all this in like 30 minutes. Let's see here. Just one moment. One moment. Okay. All right. Let's watch some funny reels, and then we'll do rapid fire news, and we'll burn through some headlines. Y'all ready for this? This one's kind of dumb. Oh, you gotta see the beginning. Boom! He got kicked into the barber chair. He got kicked up into a haircut. All right, that one's kind of dumb. This one's funny. I know this is copyright, so I gotta pause it every couple seconds, but this is funny. Dude's gonna start singing the song. I hate these duets. I would rather just have the guy's video and watch the guy's video, but there's this duet. And this is TikTok content. This is content on TikTok. This is how you build a following on TikTok. Somebody makes a funny video, and then you just do a video of you watching their funny video and not saying anything. Not reacting for 1 minute, just you smiling and laughing. And that's the video. That's the content that gets you followers on TikTok. And I'm gonna miss everybody out of bone.
What does he say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Making stuff up.
I should be making stuff up.
When that was playing just then, what were you saying?
Hippopotamus. Group of guys. Gotamus.
What?
Yeah.
And what?
I don't know.
What do you think? So when you were little...
Well, we're going to anywhere.
What else does he talk about?
Hippopotamus. Gotamus. I don't know. I like that jam.
I mean, that sounds legit, Jane. You made it.
Yeah, it's better than some I've heard, yeah.
I like that. He said, I like that jam. Hippopotamus. Run her a hot sink. I don't know why I keep giggling at that. What's up, B-Wise? Yeah, hippopotamus. Hippopotamus. Oh, that's funny. So true. Okay, next. What else we got? It says Kazakhstani language is the sound of a diesel engine trying to start in 40 degrees. This is Kazakhstan news.
Күз кез көз, күш кеш көш, кір көр, күл көл, кілең қысқа сөз кім оқиды тез. Арқада алтарқар бар, қырқада қырғарқар бар, қырғарқарда ағарқар бар, алтарқарда марқарқар бар. Әбдіреде әбігер әтеш отырған әбдірені әжем ашып отыр. Гүлім күз кез көз, күш кеш көз.
Diesel engine trying to start up in 40 degrees. How about he sounds like he's Bone Thugs and Harmony. He was just speaking some hippopotamus. One more time.
Кір көр, күл көл, кілең қысқа сөз кім оқиды тез. Арқада алтарқар бар, қырқада қырғарқар бар, қырғарқарда ағарқар бар, алтарқарда марқарқар бар. Әбдіреде әбігер әтеш отырған әбдірені әжем ашып отыр. Гүлім күз
Kush, and gone, hippopotamus, and easy guys, economist.
Biggest fight.
Yeah, the biggest ever.
All right, here's Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. This is the last video we got.
Ever. It's on pace to be the biggest fight ever.
Yes, and we're involved.
We're involved, right?
We're involved. All those big shots, all the biggest athletes in the world. This is the biggest ever.
November 28th.
Lit. Hey, we lit here. We lit at the Tyson Ranch.
Biggest fight.
Yeah, the biggest ever.
Ever. It's on pace to be.
They're high as a kite, eating mushrooms and smoking blunts with Mike Tyson. It's going to be an exhibition match. Here's an article Lutina and Callie sent me. I read this on the show the other day. Just interesting. German police conduct raids against people suspected of posting misogynistic hate speech online. They carried out raids across Germany against people suspected of posting misogynistic hate speech. That means mean to women. That's what misogyny means. It means you're mean to women. It also is just if you're, a normal person who understands that men and women are different and that there's things men are better at and things women are better than that. That's misogynistic, and you're not allowed to say that. Also, misogynistic is redundant. You would just say misogynist. So you would say German law enforcement authorities on Thursday carried out raids across Germany against people suspected of posting misogynist hate speech on the internet. Not misogynistic. Misogynistic is a word dumb people use. And I didn't learn that from Ling Yin Chin, but Ling Yin Chin will always call people out on things like that. And he's correct on this one. I agree. Sometimes he's doing some French stuff, some French language stuff that I don't agree with, but his correction on this is very accurate. You don't say misogynistic. You just say misogynist. Misogynist hate speech. You're acting like a misogynist, not you're acting misogynistic. But I do like misogynistic because then I can tell people, why don't you try misogynistic? Sorry. But hate speech on the internet as part of a coordinated push to shine the spotlight on online violence against women. Police raided homes and interrogated 45 suspects in 11 states early Thursday. None of the suspects were detained. Okay, that's good. Germany's Federal Criminal Police Office said in a statement another 37 suspects were already searched and interrogated in previous weeks and months. Raids were part of a Combating Misogyny on the Internet Day of Action, which comes one day before International Women's Day. So, and it's coming to America. You know, we follow all these Western countries. We follow after the French Revolution and the feminism and the sexual liberation and the liberalism and the libertarianism and the do as thou will and the no harm policy. All that stuff comes from the damn French. Anyway, so we're right behind them. They've already tried having stochastic terrorism put into the into legislation in Atlanta, which is basically if you said something online that could be taken as terror, as you're trying to, you don't even have to call for violence. But if you're saying stuff online and you build up a following, and then they say that, and then your followers go do something crazy, then that's because you were doing stochastic terrorism. And yeah, it's coming to America, so just be ready. Some science and tech news. Just a little science and tech news. Maybe we'll just watch this article.
Ever get assigned the universe is...
A Hillsborough County high school student is going to Washington, D.C. next month to present his innovation using artificial intelligence at the first ever National STEM Festival. So I'm from Tampa, so Rudra Patel doesn't sound like a native Tamponian.
Preparing for a national STEM festival. The Tampa teen is actually heading to our nation's capital next month to show off his invention.
Pretty neat. Fox 13's Ariel
explains
how the Middleton High Schooler is now using artificial intelligence to turn thoughts into movements.
Raise your hand.
Thoughts into movements? You mean what our brain does already? Cool.
And if you've ever thought about the neurological process behind, well, raising your hand.
Trying to get a computer to understand what your brain
You
is
guys
trying to
listen to
think
this, I'll be
is
right back.
really hard to do.
Brain-computer
But Tampa teen
interface.
Rudra Patel
It's
was
been
up
around
to the
for 50
challenge.
years, buddy.
Think about this. In order to raise your hand, your brain sends signals to your spinal cord, which then tells your arm to move. But for someone with spinal cord damage, could the brain and the arm still be connected in some way? The answer: artificial intelligence, or AI.
Basically like an external nervous system if your internal one is kind of damaged.
The Middleton High Schooler created a device called Nimble, or Neurological Interface for
It
Mind-Body
is
Linkage.
kind of
It all starts with the brain thinking, I want to raise my hand. This wireless headset captures those electrical signals.
Those signals are sent to an
It's just a fancy brain-computer interface. Like, I don't understand why this is groundbreaking. Elon's doing this. They've been doing this for years.
algorithm that I developed, which is actually able to understand what the brain is trying to think.
AI takes those thoughts, interprets them, and then sends a signal to the electrodes.
Depending on where you put the electrodes, those muscles would start to be activated.
So all your brain has to do is think.
Bro, that sounds crazy. I would not be messing with that. I would not go near that thing.
Think about raising your hand, and this device will stimulate the muscles to do just that.
How do we know?
Control.
How do we know? How do we know he's not just clenching his fist? It's like a Ouija board. How do we know you're not moving the thing? And also, that's how your brain works. How is the thing doing it? When you just think about moving your hand moves. What the heck?
Yourself, like through your muscles, but like you're not controlling yourself is like, it's a hard feeling to
What's up,
explain
Jeff?
unless you like actually try it.
But when you try it on your sister, now that makes it a little easier to understand.
She put the electrodes on her, and I had the headset on myself, and technically I controlled her arm clenching, so that was like really funny.
I don't know. I call BS on that. Also, I don't know if you should be allowed to test out homemade brain-computer interfaces on your sister, who's probably a little girl. She's probably underage. I don't think you should be hooking experimental new technology up to her head. Or your head. Well, I guess he put it on his head and just put the electrode on her. Now he's controlling her. I don't know. Something kind of scary about this.
The 17-year-old STEM competition winner is taking his innovation to Washington, D.C. next month for the
What's up,
first
Jep?
ever National STEM Festival. It will celebrate all things science, technology, engineering, and math. And while the product is not ready to be rolled out to the public just yet, Patel has high hopes it will be a game changer for those with paralysis down the line.
I'm really proud of what I did.
So basically Neuralink, except clunkier, and it's like the dollar store Neuralink, basically. Joyner Lucas coming to tour. I don't know why I say this. Joyner Lucas and Dax. That'd be a good show. Residents in Indiana and Ohio are surveying damage after 3. So we got weather. We got a weather update from CNN. We got tornadoes in Ohio and Indiana. Residents in Indiana and Ohio are surveying the damage after tornadoes collapsed homes and left at least 3 dead. 3 dead. Tornado, pretty bad. That's a bad tornado. Residents are surveying the damage. Several tornadoes ripped across the Midwest, killing at least 3 people and destroying neighborhoods. Powerful tornadoes, large hail, and damaging wind gusts, part of a storm system that stretched from Texas to Pennsylvania, carved passive destruction across Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky Thursday night, leaving residents to pick up the pieces after homes were demolished. Dozens of people were injured and thousands were left in the dark with power knocked out. So, tornadoes all over the Midwest, here in Kentucky, northern Kentucky, all over Ohio and Indiana as well. So, natural disasters, crazy storms, tornadoes, the end times are coming. And also, I don't have this story. Maybe I can pull it up real quick. I'm stealing this from Fleckus directly because I watched his show yesterday. It was pretty good. We'll get to the Tate and Aiden Ross stuff here in a second. But first, let's see. I'm going to try to find... Look at this shirt. It's an ab shirt. It's a shirt to make you look like you have abs. What the heck? I'm stealing this directly from Fleckus, but apparently I'm going to try to find the story on it because they didn't cover the story. They just talked about it for a second, and I was like, that's crazy. Apparently there's 2 broods of cicadas. Cicadas burrow into the ground for like 10, 20 years. They burrow into the ground and they hibernate for years, decades sometimes. And at one time, the brood will all come out of the ground. Well, there's 2 broods. One of them's been hibernating for like 13 years. One of them's been hibernating for like 18 years. And Fleckus said they're both going to come up at the same time. And it's going to be during a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse or something. So let me try to find a story on it so I can fact check. And they said trillions, 2 broods of cicada. As soon as I typed in 2 BROO, it has 2 broods of cicadas. The double emergence of broods. What Roman numeral is that? What Roman numeral is that? Not sure what Roman numeral that is. The double emergence of broods 10, 19. Of broods 19 and 13 is rare, occurring every 221 years when the 13-year and 17-year cicadas overlap, as 13 times 17 is 221. Oh, okay, that makes sense. These 2 broods haven't been above ground at the same time since 1803, and after this year, they won't be reunited until 2245. So this happens once every 220 years, and it's happening this year during an eclipse. CNN is saying billions. Fleckus said trillions. Fleckus might have been being hyperbolic, but looks like all these news stories are saying billions of cicadas to emerge this spring. So 2 broods of cicadas are going to rise up during an eclipse. It's going to be crazy. Billions of cicadas are coming. The cicadas are coming. The cicadas are coming. So get ready for that. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm looking at. Billions of cicadas. Cicadas are nasty. I do not like. It freaks me out. I don't like most bugs. I don't really mind, but I don't like cockroaches and locusts and cicadas. I don't even. Their legs are prickly. I don't even want them to crawl on me. It's a beetle, kind of like a beetle. It's more like a locust. And it leaves this shell behind. So when they grow, they leave their shell behind. So you'll see a shell on a tree that looks just like a bug, like this brown thing, but you go up to it and there's no bug in it. It's just I think it's called a carapace, where they crawl out of their old skin and they leave it there. And they get bigger and bigger, and they're very similar to locusts. Like when the biblical plague of locusts, you could substitute that with cicadas. We have a biblical plague of cicadas coming this year. And yeah, it's going to be. Remember when the those Mormon grasshoppers or whatever were all over everything earlier this year or last year? Ew, she's eating a cicada? The heck? Oh my God. Don't show the dang climate people this. They're gonna capture all the cicadas and feed them to us. These are their shells. Oh, they're so nasty. I don't like cicadas. So this is before they get their wings. Then that's the I forget the order, but that's like the pupa or larva stage, and then they shed this, and then they come out with the wings like this. Oh, I hate these things. They're nasty. There's gonna be billions of them, and we're gonna be eating them. Enough of that. Before we get into this, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Andrew Tate thing. I'm not like an Andrew Tate fanboy, but I have been following the case. I do agree with a lot of the stuff he says. You know, he's a scummy guy. He did a lot of screwed up stuff in his past, specifically pimping women. But there's way worse things you could do. Like, you know, it's not like he's Jeffrey Dahmer. He was a pimp. And That's not good. I don't encourage that. But now, if you watch his show, Tristan's talking about Christianity. He's talking about Muslims. We have a Muslim and Christian. They're brothers together. They're brothers, and they're together, and they're talking about God. And I like that. And they talk about getting fit, making money. So they talk about the Matrix. They talk about the attack on men, all that stuff. So I don't agree with his lifestyle choices and stuff, but he says some pretty base stuff. He seems like a cool guy. I know a lot of people hate him and they'll call him gay, which is, the same thing they do to any man who is saying the right thing. They just call him gay and make a hit piece about him, and then dumb people believe it. So they've done the same thing to him that they've done to JLP, that they've done to Nick Fuentes, that they've done to Elijah Schaefer, that they do to every conservative who, if they don't have skeletons, well, Tate has skeletons in his closet because he was pimping women. But if they don't have skeletons in their closet, they'll just call you gay, which they do against Tate. They'll take a clip where he sang a song or made a joke or something, or answered the stupid Dylan Mulvaney or Buck Angel question. You answer that question, it's a setup question. Both answers are gay on purpose. So at least he answered it instead of copping out to it. I'm not doing either. Bro, you have two choices. Not doing either is not a choice. He answers the questions. They say, look, he's gay. Come on. It's a setup question. It's a joke. Anyway, he got arrested again because another big streamer named Aiden Ross, who I think is talentless, not funny, not entertaining, really just a garbage streamer, but he's one of the biggest streamers in the world, and it just blows my mind sometimes. Gotta be an industry plant because he has no talent. So I don't know how some of these streamers get so big. Anyway, Aiden Ross was on his stream, and he's hung out with Andrew Tate. He says, in one of his streams, he says, Andrew told me the other day that he's leaving Romania, and he's never going to come back. And I said, Andrew, you can't do that. You're on house arrest. And Andrew said, we help extract people from war-torn countries like Ukraine. Men are in Ukraine, and they're starving, and we help extract them and get them out and get them somewhere safer. You think that we can't get ourselves out of Romania? And this is Aiden Ross quoting what Andrew Tate told him. So there's a lot. It's like phone. I'm sure it's not a direct quote, but that's what, and I'm quoting it from Aiden Ross quoting Andrew Tate. Anyway, Aiden Ross does that on his stream. H3H3, who is basically just a hit piece mill. They just mill hit pieces, and they attack people and falsely accuse people. That's what they do at H3H3 now. They did it to Fresh and Fit. They did it to JLP the other day. That's all they do. They do a story about it, and they say Aiden Ross just snitched on Andrew Tate. Look at this. Aiden Ross just snitched on Andrew Tate. Something needs to happen because of this. Sure enough, Tate gets arrested, goes to jail. He got released quickly. Him and his brother, they're both out. But it's just funny because I wonder if there's going to be backlash on Aiden Ross. I wonder because Tate's followers are very they're kind of like groypers. Like if you talk bad about Tate and you have a fairly big channel, his followers will come after you. And so I'm wondering what kind of backlash Aiden's going to catch. It's going to be interesting. So we got a few stories on that. This is different, though. Exclusive. Andrew Tate sends withering message to British women accusing him of sex attacks as he returns to court in Romania today. He sent a defiant message to the British women accusing him of sexual assault as he returned to court today. That's not good. You can't contact the alleged victim. He was arrested in Bucharest on Monday on behalf of British authorities after he was accused of sexually assaulting 4 British women in the UK between 2012 and 2015. But he got released. But I'm more interested in the Aiden backlash. So let's see this story. Yeah. From NBC, Aiden Tate's arrest prompted by live streamer who said Tate was leaving Romania, law firm says. Influencer Aiden Ross said he had one last chance to record content with Andrew Tate. A law firm says the comment tipped off UK authorities. So it was directly because of what Aiden said on stream that he got arrested. Bro, he's going to whoop Aiden's ass. That's funny. Influencer. A law firm representing 4 of Tate's UK accusers told NBC News that a live stream from fellow influencer Aiden Ross prompted authorities to intervene on suspicion that Tate was planning to flee Romania before standing trial there on rape and human trafficking charges. He was detained in Romania late Monday and served with a UK warrant in connection with allegations of rape and sexual assault and their Romania charges. Anyway, here's Aiden. Ross, known to be Tate's friend, is a popular video game live stream personality who often makes content featuring rappers and celebrities. Twitch, the live streaming platform owned by Amazon, permanently banned Ross in 2023 after he displayed racist and anti-Semitic comments left by his viewers during a live stream. At the time, so it wasn't even for something he said. He just put the comments up on the screen, and he got banned for that? That's whack. I hate when they shave their eyebrow like that. What are you, in a Mexican gang? What is it supposed to look like? You have a scar from getting punched? That's not a scar, bro. You shaved that into your eye. Ross said Tate had sent him a text saying he was planning to leave Romania. Anyway, so Aiden Ross directly responsible for Tate getting arrested again. But he got out. And apparently Aiden apologized. His indirect action led to the detention of Andrew Tate. At present, Ross admits he was partly responsible for what occurred. Yeah, I think he did come out and apologize. So that's just interesting. That's funny. That's funny. All right, enough of that stuff, though. Enough of the pop culture stuff. What did the cannibal say when he ate a clown? This tastes funny. I definitely don't want to eat a vax person. I have standards, you know. Yeah, you gotta eat the pure blood. How do cannibals greet their guests? With handshakes. What did the cannibal's wife do when he came home late for dinner? She gave him the cold shoulder. Are we just doing cannibal jokes? Oh, man. Yeah, nobody. Ew. Okay. Let's do a quick. Well, since we're doing.
OnlyFans
Whoa!
girl deletes her account.
Since we're doing podcasters, pop culture stuff right now. I don't really care about this story, but this chick that's on the Whatever podcast all the time, you've probably seen her on TikTok and stuff. This red-haired girl right here, she a hoe. She a 304. And I'm not a fan of Benny Johnson either, but here's just a video. Listen to how like people like Michael Knowles and Benny Johnson are like, yeah, she's a reformed Christian now. This OnlyFans chick, who was one of the top earners on OnlyFans, she was on the Whatever podcast. She does the ooh and the eye crossing and the sticking the tongue out and crossing her eyes and making weird faces. They call it, sorry ladies, they call it the cum face. They call her trimmed eyebrows cumbrellas. That's what they call them. Apparently she's a Christian now and she got baptized. Probably because she saw the popularity of the Kat Von D baptism video. She's like, I'm going to do one of those. I'm going to go get baptized in a mega church and make a TikTok out of it. And it's going to go viral. And everybody's going to be talking about me. And we're talking about her right now. But what's interesting is that people like Benny Johnson, we've seen this before. And it's always for clout. It's always for clout. These people aren't really changing their lives and giving their lives over to Christ. She says she took her OnlyFans account down, but her OnlyFans account was still up after she got baptized. That's a lie. And people like Benny Johnson and I like Michael Knowles. Not a fan of Benny Johnson, but I like Michael Knowles. But people like them are like, oh yeah, she's really going to be a Christian now.
OnlyFans girl deletes her account after being saved by Jesus Christ. There is a revival happening in this country.
Oh my God.
So inspiring. Check this out.
4 years ago, I started my OnlyFans because I think truly it was out of pure rebellion
And like honestly, I'm such a like independent person that I never
Wah, wah.
felt the need for a man.
Wah,
to
wah,
provide
wah,
for me.
wah,
So
wah,
I started
wah, wah,
OnlyFans
wah,
about 4
wah,
years ago,
wah.
and I climbed to top 0.01%. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm
Shut
saying
up.
that the devil can truly give you things in this life. I met this person who's now my partner.
Your partner?
And he truly showed me God's love. I
Oh
am now
my
giving
goodness.
it all up for Christ. I am now truly a believer.
Or she made enough money off of OnlyFans and she found a guy who also has a lot of money and they don't have to worry about money for the rest of their lives. And that's why she canceled her OnlyFans. She said, but if I'm going to cancel my OnlyFans, honey, because you're a high value man, you don't want to be with an OnlyFans whore, I'll cancel my OnlyFans for you. But let's play it up a bit. Let's get some clicks and views. Let's say that I'm doing it because I've become a born again Christian. Let's say that.
would never take it back. God radically saved me from this darkness.
And yeah, I believe in forgiveness. I believe Jesus saves, all that. I do believe people can change, and that, but for the most part, they don't. And usually, when a celebrity does something like this, it's just for the clicks. It's just for the views. When Kanye did it and he made a Christian album, I was like, I said the same thing. I said, I don't trust this. I don't believe this, but I hope he's telling the truth. We'll keep our eyes on it to see if he's telling the truth. And for like 5 years, for like 4 years or something, from the time Kanye came out and said he was a Christian, he only made Christian albums, no profanity on his albums. He had the whole DEF CON thing that happened. But for the most part, seemed like he was really trying to be a Christian, and the stuff that happened with Kim, he didn't want that to happen. He was trying to stay together for the kids, and she ruined all that. Maybe he got angry because of that situation, but now he's pretty much gone back to the degeneracy. I think his most recent album or his next album is not going to be a Christian album, so he gave up on that. He walks around getting BJs on boats in Italy and walking around flaunting his new model lady with her nips hanging out, her areolas poking out, and her butt crack everywhere. And like, I understand that Christians were not perfect and we make mistakes and stuff, but you're a celebrity and you came out and said, I'm all about God. I'm going to make albums about Jesus. I'm talking about Jesus. I'm going to do church. I'm going to hold churches. I'm going to assemble a choir. All these things. You got to be everything that a normal Christian is times 1,000. You got to be an amplified Christian. If you're famous, you're a celebrity, you're rich. You got to do everything amplified times 1,000. And he didn't do that. He's still, flaunting his woman in public like that. Like, no. Like, yeah, that's not a good look. It's not a good look. So, I don't know. But this chick, definitely, I don't believe it. I don't believe it, but it could be true. But I don't believe it. I'm not that gullible. All right. Enough pop culture stuff. Let's do Israel and Ukraine updates real fast. Israel, Gaza aid. Just one story for Israel, one story for Ukraine. Israel, Gaza aid reaches Gaza shore in first sea delivery. So we're delivering Israel aid by sea. The U.S. charity behind the mission, World Central Kitchen, is carrying out the mission in cooperation with the United Arab Emirates. Shipment contained 200 tons of food desperately needed for Gaza, which the UN says is on the brink of famine. Aid agencies have accused Israel of impeding aid deliveries, a charge vehemently denied by Israeli officials. They say Israel is allowing aid through 2 crossings in the south and has blamed aid agencies of logistical failures. So you're sending them little boats of food through the sea. That's cool. BBC. That article is from BBC. And then from Al Jazeera. At gunpoint, Ukrainians in occupied regions vote in Russia's election. So Russia had an election. And I don't even know why Russia has elections. Just go full authoritarian. End the elections. But in Ukraine, Ukrainians in occupied regions vote in Russia's election. Ukrainians and a rights group say people are being coerced to vote by their occupiers in election dismissed as a sham. At gunpoint. That's pretty crazy. We don't have time for all this stuff, but it's rapid fire news. Last but not least in rapid fire news, this Boeing story, which is pretty interesting. I would have liked to spend more time on this, and more developments are not going to come out because the dude's dead. The whistleblower's dead. He commits suicide in his hotel room. You know?
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Boeing, he murdered a guy. And apparently he said right before he died, if anything happens, it's not suicide. Said Boeing whistleblower before he was found dead in a truck. I thought he was found dead in his hotel room. But it seemed a bit suspicious when Boeing whistleblower John Barnett was found dead in his truck last weekend on the same day he was supposed to give a deposition in his case against the company, Boeing. And basically, the deposition is the affirmative action hires. They're hiring unqualified people because diversity, equity, and inclusion is more important. Breaking barriers, shattering the black ceiling or the glass ceiling is more important than being good at your job, being skilled in your work. So they're doing affirmative action hires, and not just for the pilots, but for the mechanics and the people who work on the planes. Somebody took a tour of a Boeing factory where they're making the Dreamline 747, like the newest model of Boeing. All the workers are black people. And this is in South Carolina. And they're all unskilled laborers. And this guy was walking through there with a camera, and he asked 15 people, 15 of the workers, would you fly on this plane? And 10 out of 15 said, no, I would not get on one of these. Why? Because we don't know what we're doing. We don't know how to build a plane, and we're putting the planes together. We got these guys from Labor Ready. And they're building the plane. And then we found a pilot at Labor Ready too. We found our pilot at Labor Ready. At will call. That's how we got our pilot and our mechanics. So anyway, Boeing planes are falling out of the sky. Nav systems are shutting down mid-flight, and the plane just starts dropping. That happened recently. It happens all the time now. Boeing executives are telling their family members, you're not allowed to fly on a Boeing. And Boeing is a very rich, very powerful conglomerate corporation, right? They're very powerful. They got a lot of money. You don't want to play with Boeing. Well, a whistleblower was going to come out, talk about these things and other things that are going on in the company. And the day before his deposition, he commits suicide. And a couple days before that, he said, if I die, it's not suicide. So what does this mean? Is anybody going to look into this? Are we going to have a deeper investigation into Boeing because of this? His death was reportedly caused by self-inflicted wound. A close family friend told ABC News that Barnett had warned her something might happen. The friend Jennifer said Barnett predicted he might wind up dead and that a story could surface that he killed himself while they were talking about the deposition. For years, Barnett, a retired quality manager at Boeing, had been speaking out against safety issues on Boeing aircrafts that were allegedly ignored by Boeing. I ain't scared, Barnett told her, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. Wow. And they offed that boy. He gone. He gone. Who are the murderers? Oh, Boeing. They murdered a guy. I think Boeing's probably got a pretty high body count, though. I think they've murdered a lot of guys. But that's crazy. If you pound 100 nails into a piece of wood, you can take all the nails out, but the holes they made are still there. If you pound 100 nails into a piece of wood. Her eyebrows are distracting me from what I'm sure is a very riveting message. Yeah, Elijah called those eyebrows cumbrellas. I thought that was hilarious. Okay. That's all the news we got for the night, guys. That's all the news. Boeing has lots of military contracts. Yeah, that makes sense. Because Boeing going to keep on Boeing. Yeah, what did I watch? I watched some documentary. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, they were talking about how huge Boeing is and how much power Boeing has. And it's like on a global scale and working with the military. They work with weapons people. So you don't mess with Boeing. It's not uncommon that somebody winds up dead because they're going to talk about Boeing. So, yeah, that's wild. Look up Montana rancher breeds illegal super sheep. I saw that story. Where did I see that story? Did you send that in the Facebook group? Because I did see that story. He's getting in trouble, isn't he? Because he did it illegally. It's an illegal super sheep. Where did I see this story? Maybe I saw it on my Google feed. Montana rancher giant hybrid sheep. Washington Post isn't going to let me read it. USA Today will let me read it. Okay, we'll do this story too. I thought I had this story, so I saw this. Maybe you sent it in the group. Didn't surprise me, unfortunately. Did the guy wind up dead? Yeah, me neither. Okay. Giant hybrid sheep created on Montana ranch could bring prison time for an 80-year-old breeder. Don't give the guy prison time for dang genetically modifying his sheep. Only Bill Gates is allowed to genetically modify everything. Not some Montana rancher. We don't want the farmers figuring out how to genetically modify the animals. We only want Bill Gates to genetically modify the food and the vegetables. Yeah. Rules for me, not for thee. Not all military. It's a shame our military men wear heels. Not all, of course. Yeah, not all. I respect dudes in the military that are really doing military stuff. But there's a lot of military stuff I don't respect. Not most either. Asked what they were wearing. Well, ask them what they were wearing. Yeah, probably not most either. It's not most. It's not most of the military is LGBT, but a lot. But too many. I'll say too many. One is too many. But anyway, an 80-year-old Montana rancher pleaded guilty? It is pleaded guilty, huh? Words like that throw me off. I would say pled guilty, but I think you do say pleaded guilty. An 80-year-old Montana rancher pleaded guilty in federal court Tuesday for creating giant hybrid sheep. He and his 5 co-conspirators would sell to hunting preserves for exorbitant prices, authorities said. Arthur Jack Schubarth admitted to conspiring to violate the Lacey Act and substantively violating the Lacey Act. Conspiring to violate the Lacey Act and substantive. Oh my God, I can't speak right now. Violating the Lacey Act while owning and operating under Sun River Enterprises, LLC. According to court documents filed in the District of Montana, he committed crimes at Schubart Ranch, alternative livestock ranch. It's an alternative livestock ranch. Records show from 2013 to 2021, Schubart sold mountain sheep, mountain goats, and various ungulates, primarily to captive hunting facilities. The rancher illegally bought parts of the endangered Marco Polo Argali sheep, one of the largest sheep species in the world, weighing 300 pounds or more, to the U.S. from an Asian country of Kyrgyzstan. Argali sheep are trophy hunted due to their large size and unique long spiraling horns. So all he did was get a sheep from China and he started breeding it. Oh yeah, that's a nice looking sheep right there. That's not a ram? That looks like a ram. I would call that a ram, but it's a sheep. Polo Argali, natives to high elevations in the Pamir region of Central Asia, are prohibited in the state of Montana. Okay, so all he did, it's not like he was dang chemist. It's not like he was Heisenberging these sheep with embryo fusions or anything. Like he wasn't cloning. He got an Asian sheep and he was breeding his sheep with the Asian sheep to make bigger sheep. And they come after him for it. Argali sheep have a market value of over $350 per animal. How did he create giant hybrid sheep? Oh no, he did. He sent genetic material from the Argali parts to a third-party lab to generate cloned embryos. Oh, so yeah. You can't be doing that, my boy. You can get an illegal sheep and breed your sheep with it, and then maybe you'll just catch a charge for the one illegal sheep. You can't be sending it off to a lab and getting cloned embryos and stuff. That's against the Lacey Act. Where's a picture of his hybrid sheep? Look at that damn sheep! That is not a sheep. That is a ram. That's a damn mountain goat. That's a mountain ram. That is not a sheep. In what world is that a sheep? What the heck? Okay. But anyway, that's an interesting story, but we got to move on. I'm going to run out of time. All right, guys. It's that time of year again. Every year, right before Easter, right before Christmas, we inevitably will get the Christian haters. We're going to get the atheists. We're going to get the low information Christians, the gullible Christians. We're going to get the Christian haters all over social media, spreading propaganda, spreading lies that Easter is a pagan holiday. You've probably heard it before. You've probably heard Christmas is a pagan holiday. It's a pagan tradition that we co-opted the pagan traditions and we turned them into American Christian traditions. And I've disproven multiple years in a row. Twice we've done it on Christmas. We've done it for Halloween. And last year we did it for Easter. We're going to do it again for this year for Easter. We're going to debunk the lie that Easter is a pagan holiday or based on pagan traditions. Before going into this, I will give you one concession, and I gave this concession last year too. I've explained in depth why Christmas trees are not pagan. Christmas lights are not pagan. Christmas presents are not pagan. Santa Claus is not pagan. Easter eggs, which we're about to go through today, Easter eggs are not pagan. Easter is not named after Ishtar. Easter is not named after Eostre. Easter is none of those things. But the closest of our American Christian holiday traditions to paganism would be the Easter Bunny. That's the one that I will almost give them, but I'm not going to give it to them. I'm not going to give it to them because I don't back down. Pagans don't get to claim bunny rabbits, guys. If you let the pagans claim all bunny rabbits, they win. Many cultures, many civilizations throughout history had symbolism with animals. Bunny rabbits were a frequent symbol. Why? Because they look very unique. They're fluffy. They have big ears. We have expressions like F like rabbits, breed like rabbits. They're commonly a fertility symbol because they have a lot of babies. They have a lot of cess and they have a lot of babies. Lots and lots of babies. They're great for food. They're great food sources because they have lots and lots of babies. They breed quickly. They multiply fast. They have meat. You can eat them. So many cultures throughout the world have had these symbols of these rabbits that they, the symbolism. And the farthest back we can go would be some pagan people had the symbol of a rabbit. That's their Eostre, which is not where the word Easter derives from. It's not from Ishtar either, which is another fertility goddess. So they say Easter is based on a bunch of fertility goddesses when it's not. So let me open my articles. Right now we're just riffing, but we got the documents. We got lots of documents. I got 14 different windows here. Okay. Why people think Easter is pagan. Many people believe Easter was originally a pagan festival because of the connection between its English name Easter and the Germanic deity Eostre, a fertility goddess associated with the vernal equinox. Whatever the truth of this association, in most European languages, Easter translates to some derivative of Pascha, which is Passover. It's the Hebrew Passover is Pascha, the Hebrew word for Passover. Pascua de Resurrection in Spanish, Pasqua in Italian, Paques in French. So the word for Easter means Passover. Pasa, Pascha, Pasqua, Pasques. That's what the translation of Easter is. English name for the holiday is the exception, not the rule. So only in America do we do that. Everywhere else, they don't call it Easter. So you could say Americans calling it Easter is based off of Eoster or whatever, but that's not the origins of the word, and that's not the origins of the holiday. The origins of the holiday, the origins of the word have nothing to do with paganism. It has to do with Passover. Finally, Easter was made an official holiday long before Christian and German culture blended, rendering a Germanic inspiration highly unlikely. So the word Easter was being used before the Germanic Eoster and the Christian, before they came together, the word Easter was already being used. So we wouldn't have been using their Germanic word. We weren't part of that culture yet. We didn't join with that culture yet, with the Germanic culture. So the resurrection argument. Another argument is that the murder and resurrection of gods, particularly fertility gods, are a staple of pagan religion. This fact, combined with Easter's fertility iconography, eggs, rabbits, etc., lead many to believe the holiday was a tailored repackaging of earlier stories. This is what they say about Christmas. This is what they say about all of them. And it's a lie. It's a lie from atheists, God haters, Christ haters, to get you to stop believing in Jesus, to get you to leave Christianity. It's a lie. They say, look at all these Christians celebrating these pagan days and worshiping these pagans. It's an op. Don't believe it. It's a lie. And you should not only not believe it, but you should shut it down when you hear it. You ought to, because we shouldn't just let people besmirch our religion rampantly, blaspheme our religion and blaspheme our traditions. We shouldn't let people do that. So you don't get that freedom of speech. You shouldn't have that freedom of speech in America. The founding fathers would have hung you. So I don't want to hear about freedom of speech. We need to shut that down. We need to shut it down. Led many to believe the holiday was a tailored blah, 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 blah. For instance, the Egyptian god Horus was murdered and resurrected, becoming a symbol of crop cycles. Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of fertility, was crucified on a stake and subsequently raised from the underworld. And the Greek god of Hades, Dionysus, was torn to shreds and resurrected from the one remaining piece, his heart. But while some of the imagery of Easter intersect with those pagan rites, just as some of the Gospels themes intersect with pre-Christian mythology, there's no way to draw a causal relationship. Death, rebirth, and sacrifice are common touch points for all religions, pre- and post-Christian. So what we're going to demonstrate today, when we get to the rabbit, so that's the basic outline. We're going to look into the eggs, and I'm going to show you. Well, I don't even have to show you. I think we read this article last year. We went over this article last year, so I'm not going to go over it again. But I did this in a stream last year before Easter. You guys can go watch it. I'm sure there will be some things we covered there that we won't cover here. But the first thing we're going to debunk is the eggs. The eggs. Where are the eggs?
Well, Christmas and Easter are rebranded pagan holidays.
The eggs. I'll just tell you. I don't even need to read it. I'll just tell you. So the reason we do eggs, the reason we have eggs on Easter is not because the bunny lays the eggs. I don't know at what point, even in pagan faiths, rabbits don't lay eggs. There's no pagan religion that says a rabbit goes along laying an egg. Chickens are also used as fertility symbols because chickens have a lot of babies and a lot of eggs, and they're good for nourishment and food. That's why people worship bunnies. Is because they're good for food and they reproduce quickly. Chickens do the same thing. Chickens are used as fertility symbols some places. Anyway, no legend or no myth says that the bunny is laying the eggs. I don't know where that idea came from, but the reason that we have eggs for Easter is because during Pascha, during Lent, Passover, you're not supposed to eat meat or dairy. This is a Jewish holiday. You don't eat meat or dairy for that time. Well, back then, during those times, they didn't have refrigeration. They didn't have preservatives. All they could do is pack meat with salt and it could preserve it. But they didn't have refrigeration. They didn't have preservatives in their food. So food would go bad. So you would have your harvest, and then you have your harvest festival that comes at the end of Lent, or I'm not Jewish, so I don't know exactly when, but I would believe you would have your harvest festival, you would have your feast, then you would have Lent where you fast. You don't eat for a while. Well, you can still eat, but you can't eat meat or dairy. Eggs, I guess vegans don't consider eggs meat, but that's just stupid because an egg is the whole chicken in one little thing. Of course, an egg is meat. But anyway, they can't eat eggs during Lent. So what they would do is they would save the eggs. They would hard boil the eggs to save them because they didn't have refrigeration. The meat would go bad. The eggs would go bad. So in order to keep the eggs from going bad when they weren't allowed to eat them, they would hard boil them. They would boil them. They would get hard. Now they last longer. Now you have a bunch of hard-boiled eggs. And then at the end of Lent, you eat all the hard-boiled eggs. So while they had the hard-boiled eggs stored up, they would decorate them. So then at the end of Lent, to celebrate, they eat the decorated eggs. That's where egg decorating comes from. It's a Jewish thing. And then the Catholics adopted it, and then the Christians adopted it. Not a pagan thing. Never was a pagan thing. Okay? The bunny rabbit, the oldest known reference to a bunny rabbit, is a pagan group. This is called an association fallacy. Just because one group does one thing doesn't mean that you are part of that group because you do that thing. Nazis drank water. That doesn't mean if you drink water, you're a Nazi. Lots of different cultures and civilizations celebrated, worshipped. I don't think we should be worshiping animals, but you know, we have a feast and we'll kill a cow. We'll slaughter a cow. It's almost like a ritual, but it's for God because God gave us the animals to do what we will with them. Bunny rabbits taste delicious. Shout out my bunny rabbit video. I ate a bunny rabbit for the first time the other day, and it was delicious. They make great food. They're tasty. They have sex, and they make a lot of babies. Makes sense that we would have a symbol of the rabbit or the chicken or the cow. You know, we shouldn't worship these things as Christians, but in the same way that we revere these animals because they help feed our society, people did the same thing in the past. If there was an animal that you had a lot of access to and your people were starving and now all of a sudden there's quail and you eat the quail and your people live and then you turn quail into a holiday meal that you eat every year, you know, and maybe you start worshiping the quail, and then 2 centuries later another culture uses a quail in a symbol, that doesn't mean that they're pagan now. If you were pagan, that doesn't mean that they're pagan now. That's an association fallacy. That's saying that just because two things are associated means that the groups are both the same. It's not a good argument, and that's the only argument that they have. To say that Easter's pagan is an association fallacy about the bunny rabbit. Of all of our holiday traditions, the most pagan one is the bunny rabbit, and the only way they win that argument is with an association fallacy. So just know that. Next time somebody tells you Easter's pagan, we debunked the eggs, we debunked the bunny, we debunked Eoster, we also got to debunk Ishtar. So let's see if I have an article about that. This guy's pretty smart. I watched some of his videos. He has a 10-minute video, but he's got a shorter video here. He's going to say a lot of the stuff I just said, but actually I don't even know if I'm going to play this because he's on TikTok, and I don't like TikTok, but let's see what he's got to say. He's going to say the same things I said, pretty much.
Holidays in God's honor.
No, they are not. I've already dealt with Christmas extensively on my YouTube channel, but there's also no evidence Easter is a rebranded pagan holiday. The date of Easter comes from early Christians calculating when they thought the Passover should have been. They decided it should fall on a Sunday following the first full moon after the spring equinox. After all, Jesus died and resurrected during Passover week, so they tried to celebrate it based on their own calculations of when they thought Passover was. In most of the world, the holiday is called Pascha, or a derivation of that, because it came from the word for Passover. The reason why it's called Easter in English and Germanic languages likely has to do with the name of the month that fell around April, which was called Ostaromanoth.
Oh!
Started calling the Pascha after.
So, Ostaromanoth. Now, people will say, well, that's Easter, or that's Eoster. That's the word Eoster in the month. Yeah, because just like we call Thursday, which is named after Thor's Day, we got that from a god, doesn't mean if I use the word Thursday that I'm worshiping the Greek god of thunder or lightning, right? It's just the word that we use. In the same way, Eoster month is the name of the month. Doesn't mean that we're pagan because we call the month what the month is called by somebody else who named it. And since that's the month it falls in, we take that name and we use that name. But it's not because of, it's because of the month. The month, yes, is named after the pagan god, but we're not naming it after the pagan god. We're naming it after the month, which happens to be, again, that's an association fallacy. You're making too far of a leap to pagan god instead of going straight to what it really is, which is the name of the month.
For the name of the month it fell in. It became the Easter Festival. It's analogous to Americans calling Independence Day the 4th of July.
Pause-worthy
Doesn't
comment.
mean it's a repackaged pagan holiday that honored Julius Caesar because it fell in the month of July. Some think the name Ostaromanoth came from a pagan goddess called Ostara, but that's controversial because there's not a lot of good evidence to suggest she was ever really a goddess in that region. The only clear reference to her comes from a Christian author named St. Bede, and he may have been making a conjecture for the name of the month based on limited information. And Christians were celebrating the Pascha long before they ever moved into Germanic regions. There's also no evidence she was associated with rabbits or eggs. Rabbits or hares did not become associated with Easter until the late 1500s, and Easter eggs seem to have come from Lent. You couldn't eat eggs during Lent, but you could hard boil them and save them. And so they were saved for the Easter celebration, and probably started decorating them too to help celebrate the holiday. There are no primary sources that say Easter or Christmas.
So the bunny wasn't even used until the 1500s as Easter symbol.
Was a repackaged pagan holiday.
No evidence.
Do you believe the Bible? And I'm
no evidence. No evidence. And also no evidence for Christmas. But we see this every year. We see this every year. Why do we have Easter eggs? We've covered this. During Lent, when Christians fasted to mark Jesus' time in the wilderness, eggs were one of the foods that people weren't allowed to eat. Incidentally, this is why we make pancakes on Shrove Tuesday. So when Easter Sunday came around, tucking into an egg was a real treat. Various traditions and superstitions sprang up around the egg at Easter. Eggs laid on Good Friday were said to turn into diamonds if they were kept for 100 years. Some thought that eggs cooked on Good Friday and eaten on Easter would promote fertility and prevent sudden death, and it became the custom to have your eggs blessed before you ate them. It was also said that if your egg had 2 yolks, you'd soon become rich. In Devon and Cornwall, people used to play a game like Conkers with their eggs, hitting them against each other until one of them cracked. So lots of different traditions with eggs and stuff. But the point is, the Easter egg has nothing to do with all that other stuff I just said. These are just other traditions from around the world that have to do with eggs. And just different cultures coming up with different traditions, different things to do with their eggs. So we're gonna do some Easter eggs this weekend, I think. I think we're gonna do on either the Friday night stream or the Saturday night stream. We're gonna paint some eggs. We're gonna color some. I need to get an egg coloring kit. Hit up the Cash App, guys. Your boy needs an egg coloring kit. I need to get an Easter egg coloring kit. Hit up the Cash App, Dreadedconservative on Cash App if you like what I'm doing here. If you want to help your boy out, send me $5 or $10. You can also super chat, but YouTube takes 30%, and I won't get the money for months. You could become a member. That's great. I like the memberships because that's a recurring thing. I like that. I appreciate it. Lord Bibby killing it on the memberships. Lord Spike is a huge channel contributor. Mr. Matt is a big channel contributor. Latina and Callie. Dean's helped out before. So thank you guys all for that. Shout out. If you want to hit up the Cash App, you can. We're just taking a break to chill for a moment because I got to get an egg dyeing kit for Easter so we can dye some eggs on Easter. But anyway, and hit the like button and subscribe and all that good stuff. So enough shilling. Let's get back to the chilling argument against pagan Easter. Okay, so eggs. Covered the eggs. We've covered the bunny. I think all I want to see, the oldest use of a bunny is the Neolithic era. The Easter Bunny is a much celebrated character. Now remember, also, most of these sites are going to be left-leaning, anti-Christian sites. So if you go looking for this stuff, you will find a lot of stuff that says the Easter is pagan. But I'm debunking it. A much celebrated character in American Easter celebrations. On Easter Sunday, children look for hidden special treats, often chocolate Easter eggs that the Easter Bunny might have left behind. Easter is a celebration of spring and new life. No, it's a celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, dummy. See, so this is a liberal writing. So they're going to say it's a pagan holiday because they don't even acknowledge what Easter is for. It is not a celebration of spring and new life. It's a celebration of the resurrection of Christ. Eggs and flowers are rather obvious symbols of female fertility, but in European traditions, the bunny, with its amazing reproductive potential, is not far behind. In European traditions, the Easter bunny is known as the Easter hare. The symbolism of the hare has many tantalizing ritual and religious roles down through the year. So, whoa, look at this painting. This bunny's eating people. Is this bunny rabbit eating this child? What the heck? Hare meat and witch's mischief. So anyway, as I've said, I will concede the closest we have to a pagan symbol, to pagan symbolism in any of our holiday would be the bunny rabbit. But again, that's an association fallacy. Just because the pagans worshipped a magical bunny, and they prayed to it and they sacrificed children to it, doesn't mean that if we eat a chocolate bunny rabbit that we're pagan. If you think that, then you're just not very smart. Bottom line, that's not very smart. I understand if you believe something somebody told you because you didn't look into it, but still, that's also not very smart. So there are atheists. There are atheists who are against this crap because they know it's a lie, and it makes other atheists look bad. When other atheists go around saying Christmas and Easter are pagan, the smart atheists are like, bro, don't say that because that's a lie and you make us look bad. So I think we just need to shut this narrative down completely. I think we could have a bipartisan agreement not to call Christian holidays pagan anymore. Let's stop doing that. Christians, and I'm specifically talking to the Christians who believe into this nonsense, because it is nonsense and it is designed to destroy Christianity. So if you're buying into it and believing it, you're adding to the problem. So cut it out, Christians. Stop pearl clutching and stop believing nonsense from people who hate Jesus, because they're lying to you. Anyway, do I got anything else? The Ishtar thing. Secret history of the Easter bunny, what they didn't teach you in school. So here's one where they're talking about the Germanic region, things behind it. Easter is a pagan celebration. In 596 AD, Pope Gregory sent a mission across the Channel to convert pagan Anglo-Saxons in the British Isles to Christianity. But knowing that the pagans were unlikely to simply drop their beliefs and embrace Jesus overnight, he instead gave a blueprint for conversation through coercion. Pope Gregory instructed his missionaries to embrace, rather than reject, local pagan customs in order to make Christianity more palatable for the potential converts. Over time, Christian symbols and messages were worked into these long-standing traditions. It was akin to a long con and an inside job. Christianity became ubiquitous, and knowingly or not, the pagans slowly became Christians. And again, this is an anti-God website, so I'm not going to take their word for it because I've done more research than just this little. Also, if you write your paragraphs like this, see how they have a line and then it skips a line and a line. So this paragraph right here is only 5 sentences long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They make it look bigger by double spacing it in between the lines. This is a 5-sentence paragraph. A 4-year-old could write this paragraph. I could write a better paragraph than this in elementary school. And I'm supposed to take your word for it? Tell me about Pope Gregory? But even if, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, even if this is true, as I've said before, conquering a people and then having some of their traditions and stuff still in the culture, still embedded in the culture, is natural. That makes perfect sense. It doesn't, once you change the meaning of something, it's no longer the same thing. So if those people ate bunny rabbits and they had a bunch of bunny rabbits and they were sacrificing children to the bunny rabbits and they worshiped the bunny rabbits, and you said, hey, we're going to keep the bunny rabbits, right? We love the bunny rabbits. Bunny rabbits are delicious. They make a lot of babies. We're going to keep the bunny rabbits. We're still going to, really take care of these bunny rabbits because they feed all the people here. We understand why you worship them, but we're not going to worship them anymore. We're going to worship the guy who made them. How about that, pagans? Instead of worshiping the bunny rabbit, let's worship the guy who made the bunny rabbits. And then you can have the symbol of the bunny rabbit, but don't worship the bunny rabbit. Worship the God that made the bunny rabbit and gave us the bunny rabbit. Now it's no longer, the bunny rabbit is no longer pagan. Those people were conquered and their traditions were done away with. And then we took things from those areas, common things from those areas, and if we slowly made them Christian, then they're no longer pagan, they're Christian now. If this is true, if that's the case, then that would be my rebuttal. That would be my argument that we won, they lost, and we turned their symbols into Christian symbols. I don't even think that's true, but if it is true, if this badly written paragraph is true, I still have an argument for it. I still have a good rebuttal for why it happened that way and how it's an association fallacy to say that it's still the same thing, because it's not. It's different now. The Christmas tree is not the same type of tree the pagans were slitting children's throats and dripping blood over. That's not the Christmas tree we have now. That's not the evergreen fir that we decorate with lights. Okay? The pine trees that they were cutting babies' throats and dripping the blood over the tree, that's the ritual the pagans would do with trees. We have another tradition that we do with trees, and it's totally different. It's not the same thing. So don't listen to these dumb anti-God, anti-Jesus people who tell you these holidays are pagan. They haven't done any research into it. So then Google's telling me the Easter Bunny first arrived in America in the 1700s, but we saw in the other article that it says back far as 1500. So you can decide what you want to go off of. I don't like history.com. History.com is a lot of leftist propaganda, and I think that's where this is coming from. So I'm going to stick with the 1500s as the earliest Easter Bunny that we saw. But yeah, I will concede the closest thing we have to a pagan holiday tradition is the bunny. Not the egg, just the bunny. But I'm still going to eat a chocolate bunny, and I'm still going to paint eggs on Easter. How about that? This badly written paragraph. Yeah. Why did they double space it? To make it look bigger? To make it look like it had more, make it look like it had more writing? I don't know. But I think we covered the bunny. I'm going to save all this in my past research folder. The guilty by association fallacy seeks to discredit an argument or a speaker based on an association with a demonized group or person. So basically, you're trying to discredit Christianity. You're trying to discredit Christmas and Easter by saying that there's similarities with a pagan group. It's guilty by association fallacy or false association fallacy. Yep. It's a breach in logic. It's a lack of logic and rationality. But there's a motive behind it. So I understand why they're not logical and rational, because they don't know God. But the motive behind it is to destroy Christianity. That's why they call these holidays pagan. So they want to destroy Christianity. They want to make Christians look bad and say, look, you're doing pagan stuff and you hate the pagans. That's the whole purpose of all this stuff. And it happens every year. It happens every year. It's not the same thing, but it's similar to how they want to get rid of Columbus Day and replace it with Indigenous People Day. Not the same, but similar. Why do they want to do that? Because they hate America. They hate white men. They hate men of power. They hate men who conquer and adventure. Always, through all of history. They didn't want Christopher Columbus to go to the Americas. They told him the world was flat and there's sea monsters and he's going to fall off the edge if he tries to do it, because they don't want men to explore. They don't want men to adventure. They don't want men to be powerful. They don't want men to be Christians. They don't want anybody to be Christians. So if anything that Christians do fortifies us and brings us together, like Easter, like Christmas, like Halloween, which is a Christian holiday. It's not an evil, degenerate, zombie-worshipping, skeleton-worshipping, witchcraft holiday. That's not what Halloween is. It's All Hallows Eve. We're celebrating the Hallows who died serving God, the saints who died serving God before Jesus came, getting to go to heaven finally. That's what Halloween is for. That's the origins of Halloween. Christian. 100%. But they turned these things into Degenerate Day. American Capitalist Degenerate Day. But I'm okay with that. Well, I don't like the degenerate stuff with Halloween. I don't like the degenerate stuff with all the holidays. Like, basically, Christmas becomes a day to drink and give gifts. Gift giving is cool. I'm okay with gift giving. But really, it's about the community. It's about coming together with your friends and your family and remembering, oh, we're celebrating Jesus' birth. We're celebrating our Savior's birth today on Christmas. Let's come together with the family. Let's eat, drink, be merry, have a good time, give each other some gifts, show love, and let's remember Jesus' birth. Same thing with Easter. It's not about the bunnies. It's not about the eggs. It's about coming together. The egg hunt is because it's fun for the kids. It instills memories in the kids' minds. Every year at Easter, you come, you get your little basket with your grass in it. You go out and you find the eggs. You got quarters in the eggs. You got some candy eggs. You got some treats. And young children are going to remember that day forever. They're going to remember being with their family and their friends. And when they get a little older, they're going to say, I really like Easter, Mom. I can't wait for Easter. And then the parent and the mom or the dad says, do you know the true meaning of Easter, son? Daughter, do you know what we're doing this for? Because Jesus rose. He resurrected. They killed him and he resurrected to save us. That's what the day is about. And kids will remember that forever. They're going to associate that messaging with that fun day and those fun things they do and the candy that they get. So you're building positive memories in a child's mind, and you're associating those positive memories with a positive message. That's what holidays are for. That's what holidays are for. Christian holidays. So stop letting people crap on our celebrations, on our traditions. This is America. This is a Christian country. If you don't like it, you think it's pagan, go be a pagan. And the pagans should love pagan stuff. Get out. Go be pagan somewhere. I would banish you if I was king. Everything is about getting drunk or buying stuff. Right. And I know that. That's not... My argument is not that the holidays are done properly, you know? It's not I get that. I get that Halloween has become a degenerate day where we go to parties and girls dress in barely anything, and it's sex and drugs and kids egging houses and trick-or-treating and mischief. I'm not with all that, you know. But that doesn't... Just because something's not being done right doesn't mean that we just need to get rid of it altogether. We just need to do it right. We need to bring it back to the tradition of what it was and do it the right way. But that's what I think about all that. I know some people disagree. I know some Christians. And if you're a Christian and you don't like celebrating these holidays, you don't like doing all these traditions and these things like that, especially Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate any holidays. I think that's boring. I would never do that to my kid. But just saying, like, well, I guess if your kid's homeschooled, maybe it's different because your kid's not going to see the other kids doing it. So maybe it's different. But anyway, the point I'm making is if you don't like doing all that stuff, that's fine. That's fine. All I ask is that you don't call it pagan, because that's a lie. And that's a lie used by people because they hate Christians. They hate Christianity and they want to get rid of it in America. So if you don't like to celebrate the holidays, you don't like the traditions, that's fine. You know, I don't have a problem with that. And really, anything you want to do is fine. You know, I don't run your life. Live your life. I'm just saying, from my position, I will celebrate holidays with my kids, and we're gonna have a great time. And we're gonna get together with the family, and we're gonna have the traditions and the kids. We're gonna have great memories with the kids on those days, and then the kids are gonna know what those days mean. This are imaginary kids that I don't have, but and sorry if you don't want to hear it, Matthew. Appeal to authority. Let me appeal to authority. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that, Matthew. Dang. You know how bad of an argument that is? It's the same argument. That's the same argument as a woman saying a person doesn't have kids so they can't talk about kids. That's as stupid as a woman saying that you can't talk about an abortion if you're a man. It's an appeal to authority. I don't believe in your authority. I believe in the authority of God. And if you follow his authority, it's not that complicated to raise kids and know right from wrong. You don't have to have kids to know right from wrong. 8 pounds, 6 ounce, baby Jesus. Jehovah's Witness will take Christmas vacation off, won't they? Do they? They shouldn't, because they don't do Christmas. They don't do any holidays. It's fun, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah. I'm just saying, I just don't like it being called pagan, because I think there's a nefarious ulterior motive to that. But if you don't like celebrating holidays, you don't want to do all the traditions and stuff, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. You know? Not that you guys should care if I do have a problem with it. You shouldn't care. But because I know C-Sal doesn't do holidays like that. I know Stubber One and B-Wise don't do holidays like that. So I'm talking to you guys. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just don't want to hear that they're pagan. They're pagan, because that's not true. It's a lie from Satan, from the pits of hell. I like volunteering for certain holidays. How do you volunteer for a holiday? What does that mean? What does that mean? Why Easter was never anything but a Christian holiday. The approach of Easter each year marks many things: an annual resurgence of bunnies, eggs, and pastel colors, the beginning of spring and the end of Lent, to name a few. Most importantly, of course, the Easter holiday serves as a reminder of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. However, there are people who insist the Easter holiday was not created to celebrate Christ's sacrifice, but rather that it has roots in ancient pagan traditions, specifically Babylonian. Misunderstandings about the changing date of the Easter holiday, the historical timeline where the name Easter comes from, and even the use of eggs and rabbits in modern-day celebrations all contribute to this misconception. Christians have always celebrated the resurrection of Christ. Right. From the day he resurrected, Christians have been celebrating that, said Beth Allison Barr, PhD Associate Professor of History. First century Christians celebrated weekly on Sundays as both biblical evidence, such as Acts 27. Wow. First century Christians were celebrating it every weekend. Huh. That's pretty cool. Easter was clearly being celebrated by Mediterranean Christians during the 2nd century and probably in the 1st century as well. As such, there is no way that it is derived from a Nordic or Germanic pagan festival. That if it historically existed, postdates the Christian celebration. By the 2nd century, we have clear evidence that the Christian community was celebrating an annual commemoration of Christ's resurrection. Easter, indeed, because of the quarrel over exactly when the price. Yeah, so the dates could be off. And people think they get you on a gotcha with like, oh, well, this says the date was this, and this says the date is this. They think they have you on a gotcha on that. We understand that the dates are not the exact dates. That's not a gotcha. No Christian thinks, well, it can be argued. It could be argued that that Jesus may have been conceived right around Christmas. And it can be argued that he may have been born around the Christmas time, around the winter solstice. But we don't know the exact dates, and nobody really claims that. I have get-togethers with all the family. We just have a good time. Just not the mainstream stuff put on them. I love the holidays, just not the mainstream stuff put on them. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, I know you guys do feasts and stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, the mainstream stuff, I guess Halloween is the worst. Halloween has really just become a day of degeneracy. So I get that for sure. I definitely get not doing spiders and ghosts and goblins and witches, decorating stuff like that for Halloween. I think if I had kids and a family for Halloween, we would probably carve a pumpkin. Just because it's fun, you know? And you don't have to carve something gruesome in it. You could put a smiley face in it. You could, you know, I think carving pumpkins is cool. And then it adds like an ambiance when you put the candle in it and it like lights up. I think that's cool. But yeah, all the ghosts and zombies and the weird costumes and stuff. I'm not with all that. Christmas, I understand if parents don't want to do Santa. I I think I would do Santa. Um, but I understand if parents don't want to do the Santa thing. But yeah, so do what you want with it's your kids, it's your family, do what you want. I'm just thinking if I had an imaginary kids and an imaginary family, what would I do? And I think I would probably pretty much participate in all the I'm going to do egg hunts. I'm going to do egg hunts. I'm going to do a little gift basket on the counter in the morning just like my parents did with me. On Easter, we'd wake up and we'd get presents. Not a lot of presents, not like Christmas, but like a DVD and a basket of candy. And you come out and it's on the counter. The Easter Bunny left you a DVD. The Easter Bunny left you Ace Ventura Pet Detective and a basket of candy. Shout out Easter Bunny. Let's go. But I would do something like that. I would do egg hunts. Christmas tree, lights, stockings. Santa Claus, I think I would do Santa Claus with my kids. Because I don't want them to be the kid that when another kid says Santa brought me these gifts, like my kid's like Santa's not even real, which is something I would say if I was a kid. That's some asshole thing I would say to my friend. You know Santa's not even real. It's a conspiracy theory. They're lying to us. It's a conspiracy theory from the parents. They're all lying to us. You ever notice how Jimmy always gets like a $2 gift and that rich kid Billy always gets like $600 worth of gifts? What a Santa like Billy is an asshole. He's definitely on the naughty list. And he gets a 4-wheeler and a jet ski and stuff like that every year. Meanwhile, Billy got some Lincoln Logs. And Jimmy, I forget who's Billy and who's Jimmy. One of them's poor, one of them's rich. The rich kid is a butthole, and he always gets nice gifts. The poor kid is the nicest kid in class, and he gets like, he's lucky if he gets some Lincoln Logs, you know? So then the other kids are like, wait, why is he on the good list when nobody even likes Billy? But everybody loves Jimmy. Why doesn't Jimmy get as much gifts as Billy gets? And then one of the kids in the class is like me, and they're like, Santa's not real. And you just destroy a bunch of children's lives. So I don't know. I think I would have to play along with the Santa thing until my kid was like 5. It's a lesson to the kids with the gifts too. Life isn't equal for everyone. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess if you don't have your kid in public school, then I guess it's not as it wouldn't matter as much if your kid's not in public school because then you don't have to worry about them spoiling it for all the other kids. And I like to say my imaginary child would never be in a public school, but I don't know. I don't know the future. I'm not a prophet. I don't even believe in the future. I don't even believe this imaginary kid exists. But ifs were fists, we'd all be drunk. But if I had a kid, I don't really know. Maybe we fall on hard times and the kid's got to go to public school. Now my kid's at public school telling people asthma's not real and Santa Claus is fake. He's like street preaching in the hallways. He gets bullied. I gotta roll up. I gotta pull up. We do it where the kids need to give gifts away too. Huh. That's interesting. I never heard that. They have to buy a gift, or they could just like make like a macaroni necklace or something. There were kids crying in school when I said that, and that was in 2nd grade. See, Dean was that kid. Dean was that kid that told all the other kids that Santa Claus was fake. What a spoiler! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert, Santa Claus isn't real. You'd be a good dad, toughen the next generation up. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool, but anyway. I don't care what y'all do with your kids. I'm just saying, from my perspective, we're going to do holidays. We're going to do holidays. But, yeah. Yeah, that's none of my business, how you raise your kids. But what is my business is that people don't lie about Christianity. People don't spread lies to try to destroy Christianity. So I have to destroy their worldview back. I have to fight back against that. So that's really the whole point of this. Easter is not pagan. Never was pagan. Not based in paganism. Christmas not pagan. Halloween's not pagan. Yeah, the pagan people had holidays. And they had festivals and feasts. There's no real pagans left anyway. Or it depends on what your definition of pagan is, because there's a couple different ones. If you say a pagan is anybody who's not Muslim, Christian, or Jew, which is one definition of pagan, then there are still pagans today. But when I think of pagan, I'm thinking of old religions, old heathenistic, worldly religion where they're like worshiping cows and people are wearing cow heads and they're dancing by the fire and sacrificing children and stuff. That's what I think of when I think of pagans. There's no real pagans left. You know? But then another definition of pagan is anyone who's not part of the current most popular religions. And I don't like that definition because that means a Hindu is a pagan, which I guess based off some of the definitions, a Hindu would be a pagan. And I don't know about that. A Buddhist is a pagan. An atheist would be a pagan. Maybe atheists are pagan, but they're not even real pagans. They're not even doing pagan stuff. I would have more respect for the pagans if they were out there doing pagan stuff. They're not doing, well, they are doing blood rituals and child sacrifice. Actually, okay, maybe the pagans are still here because they are doing weird stuff. They are killing the babies. So we still have child sacrifice. That's pretty pagan. You want to know what's pagan is abortion. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Equality. That's pagan. Yep. Putting women over men in society. That's pagan. That's pagan. Worshipping the feminine spirit. That's pagan. That's pretty pagan. Yep. So there's still pagan stuff out there, but it's not Easter. It's not Christmas. So that's all I got to say about that. I think I covered it all. I covered the fallacy. I covered the Easter bunny.
It seems every spring the anti-holiday crowd gets more emotional about bunnies and eggs than about the resurrection of our Savior, claiming they are nothing more than pagan signs of fertility that crept into the Easter celebration. Like with Christmas, the evidence for this is lacking. And the only evidence that is given is, it seems like they're pagan fertility symbols, therefore they must be. But that is nothing more than an association fallacy at best.
Hey, I didn't even watch this video yet, but he got it. That was the conclusion I came to as well. I came to that conclusion with when I was talking about Christmas. I haven't watched this video yet, but he got it. He hit it on the head.
And the truth is much more complex than they make it out to be. The first thing to note is the claim
Anyway,
that the
we're not
word
watching
Easter
this video.
descends from the name of a pagan deity.
Oh, here's the Ishtar one. So this meme, I've seen this meme before. You'll see this meme around Easter time. This meme is a lie. Don't get your news and your information from memes. They're funny. They're great to look at and laugh at. But don't get... If you see information in a meme, make sure to look into it before you go sharing it like it's a fact. Look into it a little bit. Take a little time before you post something to look into it. Like one of my friends posted, he posted a thing this past week. It said that the NCAA or whatever, the college athletes thing, took all of Leah Thomas's medals away from Leah Thomas for swimming. So I saw that it was a thing he posted from it was a news article. When you click on the news article, all it takes you to is a clickbait farm with a bunch of ads and no article. And I was like, is this true? I'm going to report on this if this is true. So I did a quick Google search. All it is this is not true. Claim this is not true. Fact checks. And fact checks, often are misleading, often are lies. They'll often just totally twist things. They're going to push the narrative they want to push. But when you go through all the different fact checks and they're all saying it, and then you read the descriptions of why it's a lie, you see that it's blatantly not true. And also, it just sounded not true from the onset. As soon as I saw NCAA takes away Leah Thomas's medals, I was like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe they did that. It would look too bad. They wouldn't do that. Not in the time of social credit scoring. They're not going to do that. If anything, they're going to give Leah Thomas more medals. So just before you post, just do a little searching, do a little research, But yeah, Ishtar has nothing to do with Ishtar. Easter is way closer than Ishtar. Ishtar is not related in any way, but to Easter. But that's it. That's all I got, guys. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. The show's pretty much over. Soylent Green, it's people. Soylent Green, if that becomes cool to post about, I'm going to barf. All the modern pagans are in Hollywood. Most people idolize them. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. We're about cannibalism. I hope it doesn't become a new TikTok challenge. Hopefully they ban TikTok before that happens. It's a movie about, Soylent Green, Dean. It's an old movie where this factory is making this new cheap miracle food. And they start feeding it to everybody because it's easier to make, easier to produce. And they're feeding it to everybody. It's called Soylent Green. Finally, at the end, spoiler alert, but if you don't know this yet, I don't know where you've been forever. There's memes about it and stuff. But the guy gets into the factory. Come to find out, all the dead people, they're turning them into this Soylent Green food and feeding them to people. He says the last line of the movie is Soylent Green is people. Or what did he say? He said Soylent Green is human. No, he said it's people. Soylent Green is people. Yeah. They like Soylent Green in Haiti. 8 o'clock for you, only 4 o'clock for me. Nice. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Make sure let's play the exit music. Let's see. Guys, this has been the Dreaded Conservative Show. We'll be back throughout the week with gaming streams, debate reviews. We got a lot of crazy debates happening lately. Maybe we'll review some of them. Gaming streams throughout the week. Friday night snore stream where everybody falls asleep by the end of the stream. Saturday night fight nights. We had a slow fight night this week, but still a fun stream. Check out all that stuff. I'll be back Monday night as usual. 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock Pacific time. 7 o'clock Eastern time. Every week. Monday night, kicking the week off right. The world's a crazy place. I just report on it. Hit the like button, subscribe, share. If you like it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell everybody. Hit up the Cash App, Dreadedconservative. I need to get some Easter egg stuff. Hit up the Cash App. Become a member, all the good stuff. I'll see you guys.